Hello my beautiful badgers, the Messy Coder back again with another live dev interview. This time it's with the Vegetation Engine creators Boxophobic. This was part of my live Twitch stream, all the www.twitch.tv/the Messy Coder. This interview went on for nearly 4 hours. That's right, 4 hours. Why did I interview them? Well, because I love the Vegetation Engine. Actually, I want to know what it was. I didn't really understand what the Vegetation Engine was and what it can do. And it turns out nearly everyone in chat was in the same boat. But not to worry, because straight away, as we started delving into the Vegetation Engine, you immediately started to understand the power of this engine. Well, sit back and join and you'll find out for yourself. Everyone sitting at home in front of your Amazon mirrors, your Google watches, your laptops, your TVs, your fancy computers, give a warm and messy welcome to creators of Vegetation Engine, the one and only Boxophobic. I hope I've got your name 100% correct. Welcome, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. This is the part. This is the part I need to talk about myself.
It's always scary to talk about yourself.
Yeah, actually it is. What should I say? My name is Cristian Pop. I'm from Romania. I'm a Unity developer, an asset store developer. I'm doing it full time for a year now, and I don't know. I think.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
What were you doing before you were doing this full-time asset store malarkey?
Yeah. I'm doing it for a year.
Before that, you were working in a job somewhere else, or were you studying?
No, I worked in the game industry for about 6, 7, maybe 8 years.
Oh wow!
6 years in a big company, and
are you allowed to say who?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think Gameloft.
Oh.
Gameloft Romania for about 6 years, and after that I transitioned to a smaller company, an indie company. And I worked there for about a year, and after that I decided to go full time with Unity Asset Store.
Which is more fun?
All of them were fun. I really enjoyed working in a big company, in a small company, and now as a full-time developer for the Unity Asset Store.
Is there more a sense of freedom working for yourself, I suppose?
Yes, it is. It is.
But at the same time, is it a bit scary because you don't have a guaranteed every month the same wages? So sometimes you could have a good month, and sometimes it could be a bad month.
Yes, it is a bit.
Would you recommend that if somebody's gonna go full time, they should get a bit of savings first?
Yeah, I did that. I had some savings before starting it.
Oh wow, good. That helps cushion the blow from when things go a little bit quiet and you've got the rent to pay.
Yeah.
But then saying that, Vegetation Engine has been really, really popular from the moment it came out on the asset store. It's been really everyone's been talking about it.
Yeah, actually, the Vegetation Engine is not a new thing. I had another asset called Advanced Dynamic Shaders, and this is a continuation of that.
But you were clever in the rebranding of it.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants vegetation stuff. So I see what you did there, because there was Vegetation Studio and now you've made the Vegetation Engine.
Yeah, I don't know why I chose this name, but
It works.
it works. Yeah.
I love. Do you want to tell people why you got the name Boxophobic? Because when you told me before, I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, I actually chose Boxophobic. I was searching for a cool name, I guess, and the only name actually not the only one, but the one I found available for Gmail and a domain for a website was Boxophobic. It kind of sounded cool, so that's the story behind it. There's no phobia about boxes or anything
I
like
was going
this.
to say
It's just yeah, it was just available.
it's like it feels like there should be some like deep meaning behind it, but then it's just like no, it was available, and so I took it. So there you
Yeah,
go. It's brilliant.
yeah.
Twitcheroo in chat says I bought Vegetation Engine, but not used it yet. I'm keen to hear more. And that he's not alone because there's a few people that have been like, Vegetation Engine looks great. I wonder what it is.
Yeah, so basically the vegetation engine is just a few shaders. Actually, yeah, is a set of shaders and a set of tools designed to unify any third party vegetation on the store. So basically, you just convert third-party vegetation to my system, and after everything is converted, you're able to I don't know, use snow on that vegetation, add interaction, seasons, wetness. I don't know what else.
So is it
Yeah,
is it
so,
your is it your own snow and your own witness from your own shaders that you're?
yes. So basically, it's just a unification tool.
And how does it work with the optimization? Like, does it improve performance?
Um, this is something that the vegetation engine doesn't do actually. So basically, once you convert everything to the vegetation engine, you are just using basic shaders with all the features I told you about. And it works basically like the standard shader included in Unity. So it doesn't come with any placement systems or GPU indirect or GPU indirect
So
like the Vegetation Studio or anything like that.
so it works. You could use it with Vegetation Studio or GPU instancer
Yes.
without it conflicting. You can. It's not a replacement to Vegetation Studio.
No, not at all. Not at all.
That's another confusion that a lot of people are asking. Like, which one should I get? Vegetation Studio or Vegetation Engine?
Yeah.
But they both do
Actually,
different things.
get both and get the best out of both of them. So basically, the Vegetation Engine, it's shading, and Vegetation Studio is placement and performance.
Have you tried the GPU instancer?
Oh yes, of course. I support it actually.
Which one have you noticed? Cheeky question. Which one have you noticed the better performance or the better use out of? Vegetation Studio or GPU instancer for performance on the vegetation?
Actually, there's a new player in town, if I can say that,
Oh, really?
called Nature Renderer. Nature Renderer I don't know if if nature renderer performs better or not. Basically, all three use the same system to render the vegetation. So it's called instance indirect, I think. So I don't know. Out of these three, I think they perform the same, more or less, depending on the features you use with them, but they perform the same because they are using the same underlying system for rendering.
I see. So whichever one you already own, stick with that one. If they
Yeah,
all do.
stick with that one, and that's fine.
As long as you've got Vegetation Engine as well, you're fine.
Yeah.
Basically, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
And in the chat, if you want to do an exclamation mark Veg Engine in the chat, do exclamation mark Veg Engine, and you'll get a link to the Vegetation Engine. Now, in chat, they're asking, well, Wizard Code says, I've got it too. I loaded it once. It didn't work out of the box, so I put it away again. I'm 95% certain it was me, since so many like it. Please teach me. And other people saying that they're keen to find out how to use it and what it's going to be like to convert over an existing object with a shader over to your shaders. Now they're lucky because we're going to do that, aren't we? We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it together.
Sure.
So I've got Unity. So I'm going to share my screen with you.
Okay.
By the way, shall we tell people in chat what we spoke about just before the stream? What you were so kind to say to me?
Yeah. What did I say?
That we're gonna presents like Father Christmas.
The what?
We've got one copy of Vegetation Engine to give away to a lucky winner.
Yeah. Sure.
Chris is like, what? When did I say that? I didn't say that.
Yeah. I did say that. I hope this interview won't be a mess.
You hope it's not recorded and it's not live.
Yeah. That would be scary.
We've got first thing when you import in Vegetation Engine, you will notice that you get a little window called the Vegetation Engine, and it tells you what version of Vegetation Engine you've got. At the moment 2.00. It's got since I'm used the VR, I'm very dizzy, so I'm finding it difficult to read text, to be honest, everyone at home. But there's a load of text here. I can't read it. It says stuff about importing. Push the import button, click the render engine install button to use a Vegetation Engine with another render pipeline. Click the render engine install to use it to the shader. So basically, Christian, I go here. I'm using the standard. I've got on standard, and I go import, and then it does magic, and it imports.
Yeah, actually, there's no need to. If you're using standard render pipeline, there is no need to install the standard render pipeline, because once you install it, you have it installed for standard render pipeline.
But if you're going to do HDRP, you would flip over, drop down, select HDRP, and with the render engine drop down, Unity's frozen for the moment while it's trying to import everything again. You can choose between Unity default renderer. I recall there was GPU instancer in there, Veg Studio in there, and there was another. Oh, thank you for the follow, the Foggy Gaming. So yeah, Nature Renderer, Vegetation Studio, and GPU instancer, or the Unity default renderer. Do you have? Are they the only players then? Because you said Nature Renderer was the new player in town. Are those three the only other externals?
Yeah. For now, yeah.
Are you, and as they come out more, you're going to be adding them one by one as they come out, or do you see if they're successful first? You go, no one's using it, so I won't bother putting it in.
No, if there's anything new, I would be happy to add it.
Oh,
Why
awesome.
not?
Why
Yeah.
not? That's lovely. And then when I clicked advance, there's a load more settings that have turned up. That looks a little bit scary to me. What's that all about?
Yeah, those are some advanced settings, as you can see. So basically, when you choose a render engine, you can install that render engine, actually that support for all the shaders at once. But if you, for example, want to use the grass shaders with nature renderer and the trees with Vegetation Studio, you can select for each shader what to use.
Oh, wow.
Because a lot of people use Vegetation Studio to place and render their trees, but in the same time they use nature renderer for the grass.
So you got control here over
Yeah.
which ones you want. Now, Wizard Don't Code is saying that. Were you trying to get? His thing was trying to get it to work with GPU instancer. If you don't choose this at the start, can you've been working on your project halfway through your project, then import GPU instancer and then change this over without it breaking anything, or do you have to do it at the start?
No, it doesn't matter. You can do it at any time. Actually, you can change render pipelines and at any time. So you can work for, I don't know, 2 years on HDRP, and then if you decide that you want to change to universal render pipeline, you can just change the pipeline, and everything that is converted and using the Vegetation Engine shaders will just work.
Oh, wonderful. And we've got in the Boxophobic. Do we have a demo? We do have that. I mean, there's also a big PDF README, which obviously I'm not going to read because I've got you here. So why should I read it?
Yeah. Well, there's nothing there, just a few links.
Let's put that slider down. Can you see my screen I'm sharing with you?
Yeah,
brilliant.
I can see it. Mhm.
So a diorama you've got here. If I
Yeah.
load that up, here we go. Nice big blue as it comes in as always with the new Unities, and so these are already set up. So these vegetation already set up to be using your shader.
Yeah.
And here's your shader. It looks very clean, I have to say. Nice sections, little hints and tips of readmes in there. I was a lot more worried. I feel like I shouldn't, because I've tried making things for Unity, and this stage is where I fall down flat. I'm really bad, really bad at doing the editor interface. So whenever I see someone who's made an asset that has put some effort into the editor, I really am excited and happy, and I take my hat off and I salute you. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Because Unity's a god awful. There's no decent documentation. You have to learn it as you go. You're like, I'm gonna look at what somebody else did and see how they did it and try to work it out. Sanya's asking, do you support Stagart Creations adventure environment?
Not yet.
You support his grass.
Yeah, I support his grass for now. Yeah.
So when you say like you support, basically it just means that you've already converted and you've got a ready-made shaders to move over to his one. But that doesn't mean that somebody can't do it themselves. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, that's correct. Actually, anybody can do preset for the Vegetation Engine. All the API is in the documentation. All the presets are actually just text files with some really basic transferring of, I don't know, color textures and stuff like that. So basically, I just copy the texture and the colors from the original shader and the material to my materials. and basically that's it. So
So there's nothing magical about it. Anyone can
no,
do it if they have the patience and the time to do it.
yeah.
The problem is that most people don't have the patience or the time. They can't be bothered to do it, like me. So if I wanted to have a ball and running it through your grass and make it bend and stuff, would I need to add anything on the ball, or is it just that it's got a rigid body and a collider, or just a collider?
No, it doesn't work with colliders. The vegetation engine, the interaction and coloring and all the stuff work by using a few textures which are sent globally,
Oh,
and everything works like some decals or I don't know, some stamps. So basically, you can have 100 characters running in the game without any rigid body collision, and you can still have interaction.
wow.
Oh.
Okay. So if I wanted to put interaction on with this magical ball,
Yeah, that's quite easy actually.
let's do it.
Just right click on the sphere.
Yep. Oh, where do you want on the actual over here?
In the hierarchy.
So I go here and I go boxophobic. Oh, hang on.
Yeah,
Let me
in the
change
hierarchy.
Can everyone see it now? Because they couldn't see it before. Here we go. Now they can see it. Boxophobic, vegetation engine, element.
Right click, boxophobic, yeah, and element.
Okay. So
element.
now we've got a TV element.
Yeah, you have a TV.
Do I click on this and it does something?
No, it doesn't do anything. The element
I've gone to the manual. Wonderful. That's really handy.
Yeah. I actually saw see the live stream a bit delayed, so.
Yeah, look at the use the Skype. I've shared my screen with you on Skype.
Ah, okay.
So it should be real time. That's much better.
That's better.
There
okay.
You go.
Okay. Just click on the element material.
Yep. Down here?
Yeah, down there. And for the shader, choose boxophobic, TV, element, motion interaction.
Boxophobic, elements. Oh, hang on. Where was it?
Yeah, default.
Okay,
yeah, elements.
Default. Oh, hang on.
Default.
Is that it?
Yeah, I don't know. No, what happened?
I'm going boxophobic, vegetation engine.
Elements. Default.
Ah, here we go. Now it's lagged. There we go.
Yeah, and motion interaction.
Motion interaction. There it is.
Yep. Okay. Just position it. Set the local position to 0, 0, 0. So it's on the sphere.
Oh my word.
Okay, and just scale it a bit. Scale it up.
It's actually it's a thing. Ah, it's a thing.
Yeah, it is just a simple game object in the scene that is rendered by the vegetation engine global volume.
Huh. So is it cheating?
Yeah, everything in
game development is cheating, is it?
Yeah, actually,
exactly.
Yeah, just scale it a bit more because the alpha of the texture is quite big. So
how about that?
Yeah, maybe a bit more.
Oh, hang on. Okay, let's go bigger. Let's go even bigger. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, you can see it now. Yeah.
Oh, hang on, moving it now. Put it back to 0.
So you see the effect better. Select the vegetation engine in the hierarchy and set the global motion. Yeah, there it is. Global motion. Set the wind power to calm.
Oh wow. Okay. Calm.
Yeah.
Now Now the only thing that should be causing it to be moving is me. Oh, look at that! Causing it to rustle. And that's with no colliders,
Yeah,
no rigid
no
bodies.
colliders at all. So you can basically multiply this sphere and
A
you will
million
have
times.
interaction with everything.
That's really nice. So then you just add those on the feet.
Yeah,
Oh, that is
maybe
brilliant.
one.
And on
Yeah,
the belly.
not for the feet, but for the entire character.
Well, it depends if it's an elephant or not.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Because you never know. Elephant walking around your grass. I could put a one of Malba's new elephants in there. That'd be awesome. I've been wanting to do that. That would actually be brilliant. I'm gonna do that later. Oh, that's got me excited. Let's have a look at chat. So does the basic shader look the same as the original, e.g. nature manufacture, but once converted it allows for changes like seasons and snow? Yeah, so do you lose any of the aesthetics of, like, somebody's nature manufacture or angry mesh has made a cool, sexy looking shader, and then when we convert it into Vegetation Engine, does it now look basically bad, or does it look the same?
No, it won't look the same. It really depends. With Angry Mesh and the Nature Manufacture, you get basically the same shading. But if you have, for example, toon shaded shader, you will lose that toon shading because the Vegetation Engine works with PBR and it works with the classic metallic smoothness textures. So yeah, if you have a custom shader with some fancy stuff, you will lose that.
Okay, so like, that black outline, black outline, you'd lose that.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. You can't have everything then.
Yeah, you can't.
But what about the, like, you can still do like polygon style, and hand painted kind of artistic style that we see, like you mentioned earlier about Stag Arts. It's a very artistic look to his art assets.
Yeah, I actually support some of the stylized assets, and they work pretty well because all of them use PBR shading, even if they don't use normal maps and metallic smoothness maps, they still use PBR shading.
We've got a question. I think Sengoku's asking, would you be able to use this interaction then to damage objects? Like, could I interact with this tree now with the interaction and cause the tree to fall?
No.
I mean,
No.
Are you able to put like an event? Like, if this tree now has the interaction that's caused it to go at certain degrees or be pushed so hard that now fire an event or callback, and then I can then make the tree fall down itself?
No, you will need to do it manually because the Vegetation Engine doesn't know anything about meshes, about elements. In the end, everything you have is a texture, actually 3 textures that I use with channels packed together for everything. So you don't have any information about that.
Do I have any information that this sphere, this element here, has now interacted with this particular TV prefab?
No. So about those global textures, they are rendered by the global volume. If you go to the global volume,
Down here, yep.
yeah, the last one, yeah, and select the default motion buffer. Default motion buffer is under motion buffers, the third one.
default. This one?
Yeah, just double click it. And anything you have is those two elements. I have one for my character controller and yours in there. So you can see those elements rendered on that texture. So this is all you have.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, if you want to cut a tree or to, I don't know, interact in any way, you will need to do it using the collision system or something like that. Raycasting. Yeah, actually, I think to see an update, you need to go to with the mouse on the image preview.
I think I can see the little dots here.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
we
or
go.
maybe you just need to move it more to see the update.
See, I can see a little dot and a little dot. Wizard Done goes, I have another distraction. I know. I think we're gonna be playing about with this vegetation engine because there's a lot of possibilities now, especially people who own hundreds of vegetation packs that they've purchased over the years, and they want to get it to work. What about Megascans? Have you played about with any Megascan stuff?
Yeah, I have a preset for Megascans.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. So don't have to worry about that. So I've imported in as well. Nature manufactures the dynamic nature pack and also a couple of other stuff. But we're gonna quickly grab one from dynamic from nature manufacturer. What should I put in?
A beech tree, maybe? I don't know, a bush.
A bush. I love a bush. Let's put on that bush. HDRP, please. Yes, we're going to do HDRP on Christian's machine. He's going to share his screen to me over Skype, and I will share it to you, and he will do HDRP. I'm not touching HDRP. Okay, HDRP is the work of the devil. It is evil. So I'm not touching it. There you go. All right. So prefabs folder. So should I chuck in a prefab, or can it be actually with the Unity's terrain?
It only works with prefabs.
Okay. So I can't paint the terrain with and then use that.
You can. But in this scene it's just a big plane, so you will need to add the terrain.
So this doesn't really look like a big bush, to be honest. Oh, that's a bigger one. There.
Yeah.
So here's a nice big bush. Standard bush from nature manufacturer. There we go. Fresh Meat says, I've actually fallen in love with HDRP. Wizards, don't remind him that he's angry, please. Let him calm down. Don't remind people when they're angry. It's never a good thing. Especially if you're married. So here's the shader. Black Forest, Black Cherry.
Yeah, so you actually don't need to change the shader or anything manually. Just go to the window menu.
Okay. We just had somebody playing a baby music in the chat.
Vegetation Engine and prefab converter.
Okay, so Vegetation Boxophobic, Vegetation Engine. Thank you for playing music in the background, everyone. Vegetation Engine, prefab converter.
Yeah. Choose a preset.
Let me kind of dock that over here. Choose a preset.
Yeah.
I made it. Megascans, procedural, vegetation, additive, vegetation tools.
Yeah.
Oh wow. CTI, M-Tree, Polyverse, SpeedTree 7.8, Terra World, Tree Create, Tree It. I don't even know what that one is.
Yeah, Tree It is a pretty cool free software for creating trees.
You got your vegetation assets, Baldino boys. You got tropical forest in here.
Oh yeah, I actually have it.
You got it. Already? Angry Mesh is already in there.
Yeah.
LP's in there. BSP, which one's BSP?
BSP, I just added in version 2. I think there are 2 vegetation assets for BSP.
Who's the BSP? Is that the one
I
who
don't
does
know.
the?
Somebody suggested it, and I just bought it and added it in
Okay.
there.
Artovsky. Who's Artovsky?
Artovsky is the illustrated nature, I think.
Okay. Digifunter's in there. I got a big nature pack. Forced is in there.
Mm-hmm.
Photogrammetry, lovely. His stuff is beautiful.
Yeah.
Il Ranch is in there as well. I'll forgive you for that. Infinity PBR Book of the Dead. I bought that Infinity PBR Book of the Dead, and I was like, "What did I just buy?" Right? He took my money. Manufacturer K4, Alien Forest. I'm thinking I'm going to buy the Alien Forest this time around. I'm not sure about. What did you think of his Coniferous Forest? Was that?
I think it's pretty good, yeah, as far as I can remember.
Is it as good as the Nature Manufacturer ones?
Oh, yeah.
Is it better?
Yeah, I think it is.
Really?
I think it actually.
But he doesn't have wind.
Ah.
If you convert it in with Vegetation Engine, does wind affect it? Can wind affect it?
Yeah, once it is converted, everything is affected by wind.
Nice. And that's the other thing. Last time I played with HDRP, wind wouldn't work with HDRP. So with Vegetation Engine, does wind work with HDRP?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, great. Maybe it's not so evil after all. Illustrated Nature, will you try to support it?
Yeah, I plan to support it.
Lovely. Stag Art Creations, Cinti Studios even in there. Toby Fredson, don't know who that is. Triforge, Turbo Scalper. He was doing some new stuff. I haven't seen if it's made out. Virtual Design Cafe and the Vegetation Engine himself. So we'll go to Nature Manufacture, Standard. I'm assuming, is this plant or vegetation?
I think it is a plant.
It's a plant then.
It's a plant. Yeah. I really need to go through all the presets and check everything again.
Sengoku's asking, is Vegetation Engine an alternative for the custom tree importer?
I would say yes. Yes, basically they are doing the same thing. Custom tree importer can have better results because they store a lot of stuff in the meshes and it can work better in some cases, but if you're doing the vegetation yourself and if you add all the masks in vertex colors to the mesh, you can have the same result basically.
So that kind of leads to Chichiru's basically saying, will it unify shaders between different manufacturers once converted, i.e. taking a similar tone? And that's exactly the point that you were saying is, if I've got now Nature Manufacture, Manufacturer K4, Angry Mesh, and a load of other people, Stag or whoever, imported in, if I use your convert them all with this prefab converter, are they all now going to look and be the same, using the same shaders and unified amongst them? So it's the same tone, looks the same, doesn't look like I've got a load of random assets thrown together.
Yes, it will really depend on the textures of course, yeah, everything will be unified. You'll have the same wind and the same systems interacting with the vegetation.
Lovely. So here I've got the preset. Down under I've got conversion output. Vegetation static. So I'll leave it on vegetation.
Yeah, leave it on vegetation.
Conversion setting, preset or custom?
Preset settings.
What does custom do?
Just click it. If you
Just click it. That's brave.
if you go with custom, you can choose all the masks encoded in the newly created mesh. So basically, you have the, let's say, the motion leaves source. You can choose if you want, if you paint a custom mask for the leaves, you can choose in there what to use.
I'm going to go back to preset because I got scared and I've run away. And I'm going to click convert. Let's see what happens. There we go. It's done it. That was it. 1 second.
Yep. Let's see what's breaking.
So now I've got my new bush. Here's my bush. Are the LODs now converted as well?
Yes.
Yep. Yes, they are. Oh, I moved the LOD because I'm a numpty. Obviously. There we go. I always do that. Move the LODs. So, yeah, it is. Now, if I put this here, and I grab my magical ball, is my magical ball... Oh, my magical ball is moving it.
Yeah, you actually need to, for every preset, you need to set the material settings, because by default, I just set some default settings for everything, and you will have to make it custom for everything. So just go to the open preset settings.
This one here?
Yeah.
So I just frozen. There we go. Drag it over.
First of all, let's enable your wind in the scene, because nothing is moving right now.
Yes, I go back to global motion and I... Oh, why is it?
No, you're not on the inspector.
Oh, no, I'm not in the inspector. I'm on the thingamajig. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
There you go. How's that? About that? Windy?
Okay. Windy, and go to the scene view, and shaded 2D, you have the light, you have the sound, and after that you have a layer icon.
Oh, yeah.
In the left.
Yep. Can you see
On the left.
On this one then? Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Turn it on.
That one, yeah.
My axes.
So it's moving, right? Yeah.
It is moving. It's very windy. It is very windy. Are there any performance costs to your shaders? Are you going to break anyone's project?
They are a bit more expensive than the standard shader in Unity.
How much is a bit? What are we talking?
A bit, let's say the standard shader has 200. How do you call them? 200 instructions, and the Vegetation Engine has 200.
9 million.
No, 250.
Oh, okay.
With everything enabled. So you have the wind, you have the elements, you have size fade. You can set the size of the prefabs, snow. You can play with the subsurface, blending for the trunk.
So that's not a lot at all.
Yeah, actually a lot of stuff in there.
A lot of stuff for just an extra 50 instructions.
Yeah.
Okay. I was expecting you to be in the thousands, but yeah. Right,
no,
cool.
and you can always simplify everything. If you have Amplify shader editor, you can simply just choose what you want to use and to strip out everything else.
Ah, good old Amplify. Amplify is lovely. Right, so I'm in here, the prefab settings.
Yeah.
I can see that my bush isn't blowing that much.
Yeah.
Now you need to make my bush a little bit more interactable.
Okay. First of all, let's set the banding amplitude a bit higher.
Oh, so that's much better.
Bends a bit more.
Yeah, my bush is a little bit more bendy.
Yeah, maybe the bending amplitude a bit more.
Bending. I'm on 1.2. My bending. What about bending speed? Should I put that one on?
Yeah,
A
why
bit
not?
more. Bending variation. What does that do?
Bending variation works better for grass. Actually, it's just a phase shifting for the bending animation. So you have variation for each leaf, let's say, or each grass blade, and you can shift or offset the animation. But in some cases, in this particular case, the variation is procedural, so it might not work properly. And probably the mesh is broken right now.
No. Is it? I can't even tell.
Yeah, me neither. Actually, from the screen sharing, I cannot tell. Yeah, but you can see the warning in the top part about the
Variation
procedural variation.
detected. Use the scale settings if the variation is breaking the bending and rolling animation. So, where's the scale settings?
The
This
scale
one.
is, yeah, that one.
Do I make it higher? Honestly, I can't tell. I can't tell what's wrong about it. It just looks like a wavy bush to me.
Yeah, I cannot tell either right now from the screen share.
I'm liking it. Got a question. Microsplat and Connect have the editor enables turning on and off features in the shader. I would love to see that without the need for Amplify shader. So to have it in the editor itself, that you can just tick them on and off
Yeah,
without
yeah,
having to.
it would be nice, but that would mean double the work on the shaders for me, because everything I do right now is Amplify shader editor, and if I do it, I could do it by injecting stuff in the shader like I do with Nature Renderer or Vegetation Studio, but that would mean a lot of tracking of everything, and yeah, it would be harder to do, but it can be done. It can also be done by adding more keywords to the shaders, but then the compilation just takes so much time that it's not feasible.
Huh.
So if you need anything and you don't have a Amplify shader editor, just contact me on Discord or by email, and I can do it for you.
That's lovely. It's a nice man you are. If I grab 3, right, can I now grab these 3 and use the
Yeah,
converter?
yeah, you can.
And it's yellow. Does that mean it knows I've already converted one of these in the past?
Yeah, the yellow one is converted, the other two are not converted.
So this is a copy of the prefab, and it's saying you've already converted this prefab.
Yeah.
Don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
but you can reconvert it at any time.
And then I go convert. Nice. Now, if I've got this one here, okay, and then I go and grab the Baldino Boys. Is this Baldino Boys one? I think it might be. Where tree? Give me a bush. Give me a bush. Ground cover. Small patch. Has he not got any bushes? I don't think he's got any bushes. Let's pretend this is a bush. Alright, so. Oh my word, look at the size of that.
Yeah, looks like a bush.
Yeah, it's a big bush. It's when bushes go crazy. So
Yeah.
now I've got this big bush Oh, it's a tree. It's a tree. Fine. And I've got this bush. Can I select these two and then have them at the same time because they and then set them differently?
No, you can't.
So basically, select all your bushes from one source. Do all your bushes from the different source. Okay, yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
So, Sanyo, I think we would have been lucky if it handled it, but I can imagine it would be a massive pain in the bum. Talking about, I mean, look how lovely Baldino Boy's tree is.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got this. If I go here and I change this tree, vegetation
just
assets.
select vegetation tools.
Here we go.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then it's a vegetation.
Yeah, it's a vegetation.
Convert.
Let's see what's happening, because with custom tree importer, it's always tricky.
Here we go. Wizard Done Code saying, don't miss Twitcher's question. Wizard's posting that. Wizard, you're writing that after I've already done it. That's what we're talking. Wizard, that's what we're talking about. I already did it. I selected 3 of them and I converted the 3 of them at the same time. They have to be the same type. It has to be from the same source, like all nature manufacturers, and it would have to be 3 bushes. You can't do 3 different bushes from different people, like a Baldino's bush, nature manufacturer's bush, and a bush from manufacturer K4. Or you can't do a tree and a bush. You have to do all nature manufacturer's bushes at the same time. All the you went to the loo. See, now that's different. Wizards Don't Code is basically saying, don't miss Twitcheroo's question. I would like to know too. And we're like, we already answered his question. And the real thing of what Wizard Don't Code should have written is, sorry, I went to the loo. If you've already answered his question, I would like to know it too, because I had to run and do a wee-wee. This is what you should have said, Wizard. God, cheeky.
You're okay.
Cheeky.
Let's see what happened in there.
Look at that bouncing about. It's gone crazy. So, if I go to the settings, we don't have any warnings on the tree, so that's good.
Yeah,
But
actually, it has variation added to the mesh, I think. But it really depends. See, what's the problem with custom tree importer? Because with custom tree importer, the trees are custom made and you can choose if you want to add some stuff or not. So I cannot test if there are any if there is any info in the mesh or not. So that's why it's trickier.
So if I want to stop these bits from wiggling, we don't know what they're being classed as. Are they leaves?
No. Actually, I don't know. Just play around with the settings.
Just keep playing until it stops wiggling.
This is what I do.
I think
so. Just set. I just set the amplitude or for amplitudes to 0 and start from there.
Ah, yes. Start from 0.
Yeah.
And work your way up. Alright, so we're all on 0. I think when we started playing about flutter, there we go. Slight little flutter in there. Getting a little bit more with the leaves. Even the vines shake. See?
Yeah.
But if we then put the leaves down, so the vines are on the... No, where are they? Yep, they're on the leaves. The vines have been picked up as leaves. Well, that's not what you want, is it?
Yeah. Actually, with custom tree importer, I just take the existing. I know how the leaves are encoded in custom tree importer, and I just get that info and transfer it to my mesh.
When you've got something so custom like this,
Yeah.
You can see where it starts to get a bit difficult.
Yeah, another thing with custom tree importer, I don't support billboard renderers. As you can see, if you select the prefab.
Look at the tree now, look at that.
Yeah.
So we got here the billboard's off.
Yeah, the billboard is off.
That's awesome. Look at it. That tree's getting blown in the wind.
Yeah, just set the rolling to 0.
Real IV2. Have you used Real IV2?
I didn't, but I just contacted the developer. I don't know. I think 2 days ago, and we are now working together to.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, Free Dynamite he's a wonderful. We've had him on a couple of times on the show. Really lovely person, and it's a wonderful product. I was able to when he came on, I was able to draw my face in vines, and I even drew some rude shapes as well with vines. That was brilliant. Not sure if this has been asked. Is Veg Engine a viable option for open world use?
Yeah, I would say yes. If combined with one of the
decent renderers like
the
GPUs.
decent renderers, yeah, you can use it. You can use it.
I mean this is nuts. The fact that this doesn't use any colliders or rigid bodies or anything, so that like you're saying, you could have like 500 people walking around without any colliders, and they're interacting, causing things to bend. That's brilliant.
Yeah. Right now, if you add 500 elements, you will have 500 draw calls. But this is something I want to address in the next updates.
Cool.
So to use instancing or batching with elements. Right now it's not supported.
Such a shame on that. This, here we go. I think no. You know what? Can you load up a tree that's already been imported in custom tree importer? Like, can I put this back inside custom tree importer and separate out the vines from the leaves? I wonder if that's possible.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know actually. I played a bit with the tool, but I didn't go too deep. So basically, I was just interested in the shaders and how I can transfer everything to my shaders.
Because this vegetation engine is so lovely, I would rather spend the effort in getting other people's models to work with it than the other way around. It's like, I now that I've got my tree, my bush put in, it's like, okay, I want all of my stuff now using your shader so I can interact with it. I mean that's a great selling pitch that you got there. Vegetation engine, it's so good it makes you want to break other things. It really is. It's nice. But basically going, I like this. I like Baldino's. I'm liking Vegetation Engine more than Baldino's. Therefore, I need to make Baldino work with Vegetation Engine, or I won't keep Baldino's tree. That's out of the two. I would rather keep Vegetation Engine than Baldino's tree with the vines on.
Yeah, you can always import your mesh in a 3D package and just modify it and add the proper masks for the leaves, for the branches, variation and everything, and you can make it work better with the Vegetation Engine. So that's an option as well.
If you know what you're doing and have the patience and the time to do it,
yeah,
I'm all for that. I'd have to find somebody else to do it. Now, you're talking about, you're using Amplify shader. Have you also used Amplify Imposters with this?
Yeah, actually, an add-on is coming, I hope, really soon for the Vegetation Engine with
Which
the
you
Amplify
you you
Imposters.
hope.
Yeah, I hope because everything takes more time than expected. So yeah, that's in plan for the next add-ons. I
So
want to
how
add
would that work with the interaction though? Like, because you're once it's in the Amplify Imposter state, obviously you wouldn't be able to then have it dynamically start to have snow and wetness on it because
yeah,
it's
you will have.
really.
Yeah, that's the thing. Um,
What
yeah,
about bending?
yeah, bending as well.
No, shut up.
So you will have bending
No,
wind, be, just a basic wind because you don't have any mesh for the leaves. So basically, you will have just the bending. You will have the interaction, snow, wetness,
no, you
uh,
can't. That's impossible. How are you going to do
coloring.
that?
So basically, actually I do replacement shaders for their shaders with all the stuff supported. What the Vegetation Engine supports right now will be supported for Amplify Imposters.
Oh my, whoa. Okay. Thank you for the question, Singo, because that is brilliant. I didn't think that would even be possible. Like Yolan saying in chat, well, the billboards wouldn't end up animated. He's saying yes, with Amplify Imposters, it will end up even with the wind blowing. Now,
Yeah.
have you tried wet stuff from Placeholder, the guys who make Dissonance?
No, I haven't tested, but yeah, I kind of know how it works.
Right, I need to introduce you to the wet stuff people then.
It should work by default with the Vegetation Engine.
Oh, nice.
If it is based on deferred rendering and if he's using the deferred buffers for the wetness, then it should work by default.
We'll have to have a play. We'll have to have a play, wizards. We'll have to have a play. I am, because before you came on, I was one of those people that was like, Vegetation Engine looks really nice. I wonder what it is.
Yeah. Actually, everybody's asking what this tool is, and as you said, and even you asked, what's the difference between the Vegetation Engine and Vegetation Studio? So yeah, I should work a bit more on my descriptions probably.
Well, I hope that everyone's in the chat now is a lot clearer and is as excited as I am. I'm so excited, I'm pinching myself a little bit because it's. Do you know what this is? Now, I love Forced and all the guys who they're working together and they're making the Forest. Now, they've got what was it called? I bought it. It was like one of the first assets I ever bought. What the heck's it called?
The grass one?
Yeah, the grassed one. What's it called? Come on, chat.
Advanced grass shaders.
That's it. ATP.
Yeah, ATP. Yeah, ATP.
Yeah. So I bought that. It was like one of the first things that I ever got. Where is it? Forced. So there was advanced foliage shader. I bought advanced shoulder fader 4. I've got advanced shoulders fade. I can't even say it. Advanced foliage shaders 5 as well. And then he's got a load of other stuff as well. Advanced terrain grass. He came out afterwards. Now, I love. We had him on the stream. Lovely bloke. Really, really nice. I really couldn't understand at first how to use this stuff, and especially with what's the name of the other guy's shader thing? The one that everyone used to buy before CTS came out and Microsplat.
CTS.
You remember what's it called? The one that everyone used to buy and nobody knew how to use. The shader
I don't know.
RTP. That's it. RTP.
Yeah, RTP. Yeah.
Everyone
I
owns
remember that.
everyone owns RTP, but nobody knows how to use it. I've typed it in chat. It's not even available to. Has it been deprecated? Is RTP deprecated? Everyone in chat, because I can't find it anymore. Now you're in 3 seconds with you. I'm just searching for RTP in my thing. With 3 seconds, we've done in Vegetation Engine what I have struggled to do with other assets. Literally 3 seconds with you. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, as I said, I had another asset before the Vegetation Engine. It was called Advanced Dynamic Shaders, and it basically did the same thing, but everything was done manually. So with this one, I tried to make it as smooth as possible and as easy to use as possible, even if I would say it's quite big and modular. It's pretty easy to use.
And that's the important thing. It's ease of use. Look, as powerful as something is, if you can't work out how to use it, then it's not really going to help. So just put it back in the cupboard. There's a load there's volume grass, infini grass. There's a load of amazing grass tools out there, but I've always struggled, and people have tried to help me get them to work. Something that I can literally throw together, like we've just done together now, and get working at a click of a button, was great. I mean, it really, that it can't get as simpler as that. But what I want to know though is how hard is it when we start getting a bit advanced, because we've been working. All we've done at this point is very easy baby steps, because effectively I'm baby. You know, you're helping me at the entry level of what I should be at. This is the level that I'm comfortable with. I've thrown in some assets from Nature Manufacture or Bordino Boy. I've clicked your automatic converter. I played about with some sliders. And I haven't had to write any code or convert anything by hand, and it works.
Yeah.
Now you're going to share your screen with me, and we're going to start doing something a little bit more advanced now, yeah?
Yeah. Can we take a little break?
Sure. Do you need to go to the? You need to go to the little boy's room.
Yeah. Actually. Yeah, 1 minute and
cool.
I'm back.
All right. So while I've muted him and he's gone to the loo, I'm really shocked, honestly, really shocked, because I've struggled with a few stuff. We've had Forced on, and he was literally held my hand, and it's the only time I've been able to get anything to work because he was so kind and gentle with me. But obviously, if you put the effort in to learn something, you can use any tool. You know, I'm not saying that. If you put the effort and the time, you can use anything. The fact that this was really simple to use is great. Now the caveat being, like, how those objects are actually imported in with the custom tree importer. As we've seen, you're not getting some of the data. Like the vines were being interpreted in the same way as the rest of the leaves. So you could then put that back into Blender or whatever, and then mask it separately so they're separated. So that'll be great. What is it that we're not getting with Vegetation Engine? Doesn't handle that, the optimization. It's not the rendering that you would get in GPU Instancer or Vegetation Studio. So you can't go, well, I've used Vegetation Engine and now I've got thousands of kilometers of grass and I've got great performance. No, it's not going to help you at all with that. You're going to need to have Vegetation Studio or GPU Instancer or that nature renderer thing. thing. Now, terrain details add-on. What is terrain details add-on? Okay, he's back. So, terrain, I can hear you. Now, I've got a question in chat. Terrain details add-on.
Terrain details add-on.
So, chat is saying, ask him about terrain details add-on. What are we getting in terrain details add-on that we're not getting in Vegetation Engine?
So, if you are using nature renderer or any tool that works with the terrain, that works as a replacement for the terrain detail system, then there's no point of using terrain details. If you're using the terrain as is, with the grass painted on terrain and using the Unity default shaders for that, then if you're using terrain details, you get all the features available for the Vegetation Engine for the terrain details.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you can add snow and wind and interaction for the terrain details on the terrain.
Let me go to the where's the page? If I load it up in the browser, so everyone can see. Vegetation Engine Terrain Details Add-on, €13.40. Let's change that into shekels. There we go. $15. It's not in the sale. Why didn't they put this in the sale? That's so mean.
Oh, so you can change the currency used for the asset store. I never saw that before.
Yeah, they only give the choice of euros and dollars. They forget that the Queen exists. Nasty buggers. Disrespectful. Her Majesty, I salute you. So it's $15. And I was going to say, like, with people asking the question, you know, what is vegetation? Do you find that people aren't buying the terrain details add-on because there's a lack of understanding of what they're getting, or are people buying it and not using it because they think they need it and they don't use it?
Yeah, it was a lot of misunderstanding about the terrain details. Nobody understand what it is actually, and I just changed it. I just changed the description lately, based on what people on Discord said. So
what are people on Discord saying?
yeah. As I said, I'm not really good at explaining stuff.
Well, you're doing really well while we're talking. I'm learning so much. Before you came on, I didn't have a clue, and now I've got quite a bit of a clue. Not a full clue, because that's my own problem, but I'm getting a good clue of what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm doing my best.
So Goku is using Microsplat. There's no need for him to use the terrain details add-on because he's not using the vanilla Unity.
Actually,
or is he going to take advantage of it even if he's using Microsplat?
Yeah, you can because Microsplat is just the terrain shaders, and the terrain details add-on works on the grass.
So if you're playing about with GPU instancer, or you're playing about with Veg Studio, or the other one you talk about, that nature renderer, then don't spend your $15.
Yeah, don't spend.
But then saying that, Veg Studio, GPU instancer and the other one, they're more expensive than $15. So actually,
yeah, a lot of people are still using the terrain details as they are. So if you want to have the same functionality the Vegetation Engine offers, then yeah, you can use it. I'm not a big fan of the terrain details shader because those meshes are not actually, the mesh generated for the terrain details is not the best. It doesn't have normal maps. It doesn't have a lot of stuff to make it look good.
okay.
So if you're already using Vegetation Studio, then better just use it for grass and take advantage of all the shading features that comes with some more advanced shaders.
Wizardstone Code says, I have not bought it as I didn't know what it does. Now I want it. Well, that's good. I'm glad we've helped.
Yep.
Exclamation mark Veg Engine in chat. You can click on it and then go and give his name and click on his many other things. Like it says here, the Vegetation Engine is dedicated to users who don't use replacement tools for terrain details such as Nature Render or GPU Instancer. So there you go. Now, are you ready? Are you ready to share your screen with me?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I'll give you a second to load it up. All right. You load yourself up.
Yeah, I actually already have Unity opened.
Cool. So
for a few hours now, I think.
Oh, for a few hours, then it's probably eaten up all of the memory. Have they fixed their memory leaks? I used to love how they used to deny there was any kind of memory leak with Unity. You say, okay, but I left Unity running with no projects, just a blank project, Unity running, and now my PC has used up 32 gigs of memory.
Yeah, really.
So that was a few versions back. So I think it's fine now. It doesn't cause things to explode. Right, I'm going to try and go full screen. If I go to float.
Yeah.
Floating.
Actually, I don't have anything prepared. I just imported a few assets in an HDRP project.
That's good enough because I'm not touching HDRP, buddy.
Yeah. Okay.
HDRP. I'm not going near it. HDRP, as I mentioned before, it's naughty. It's a naughty sausage. Okay, so Skype. Here we go. If I try to lock that down, how's that? Everyone? Can everyone see? Does it look good? Slightly big on that side. Let's go and make it a little bit smaller. How's that? That looks good. Lovely jubbly. All right, here we go. We're sharing. We're sharing away. Be careful sharing the screen. Yes, I was very careful this time because Christian did the voucher in Discord, but we are sharing Skype. You see, that way there's no way that I can accidentally show the key. Christian, normally what happens when I start sharing a screen, I accidentally share Discord and show all of the vouchers. And then I have to quickly go, delete everyone, close your eyes. So we're safe this time. For some reason, I've got a bit of a strange overlay going on. If I go back to window, that's a better. I think that's a better view. Cool. We'll do that one, and then I'll just make it bigger. How's that? That's better. There we go.
Yeah, I think it's good.
So now you are in HDRP.
Yeah. So basically the same scene in HDRP.
Importantly, there's no purple textures missing materials anywhere, so that's good.
Yeah, not yet. So basically, I just imported a few assets, a few different style assets to show you how you can use them with the Vegetation Engine in HDRP, even those assets are not supporting HDRP by default. So, and some of them are Alien Fantasy Forest for manufacture.
Oh, good. I want to see if that's any good, if it's worth me spending my money.
Azure. How do you pronounce it? Azure?
Azure?
Azure? I don't know. I really just call it Azure. Azure Nature. Illustrated Nature 3D, the free one. Nature manufacture assets. I have the forest one imported, and I also have um, nature renderer imported
Oh.
just in case. So let's start with
Are you able to do the nature renderer with the HDRP?
Oh yeah, let's start with that. So you converted the bush.
Yes, you
right?
do a tree.
Yeah, okay. One of the beech trees.
Be careful as you pronounce beech tree.
Yeah.
It can easily pronounce it in a way that sounds like it's rude. Beech with two e's. Yeah, always remember that. Good advice. Nature renderer was in the humble bundle. That means I own it. Brilliant, Christian. I own Nature renderer and I didn't even realize it.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, let's try a conversion for this one. So I just choose the preset as you did, but this time I go with
the shader render pipe.
Yeah.
Vegetation because it's
and
not
I
grass.
will just choose vegetation. Yeah. Convert.
What about rocks?
I didn't really add any conversion for static objects because that would mean that I need to add, or I can add conversion presets for everything, and I just want to keep it simple for vegetation.
But can I have rocks with your shader and then have snow and stuff on them?
Yes, you can. I will show you in a minute.
Ooh.
So as you can see, the conversion is a bit broken.
Oh, we've gone white.
I just realized a few days ago. Actually, the only thing I need to do is to disable the detail on the bark, and everything is working. But I will try to fix it in the next update. So I have the tree converted. The subsurface is a bit much, so I will just fix it. Where is the subsurface? So I will just reduce it a bit, and that's it. I think it looks pretty good. Okay, I have the Azure Nature package. Probably some of you know the asset. Is the one with the trees with two colors.
Oh, yeah.
You won't see it here because everything is pink. But once converted, you will see it.
Did say the pinks were coming.
So let's see. Let's try merge. Let's try this one.
Lovely.
So yeah, everything is pink because it doesn't have any shaders for HDRP.
It's a candy floss tree.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Candy floss. When you go to the fair, when you go to the fun fair, and they have the machine that makes the sugar like a cloud.
Yeah.
Candy floss.
Candy floss. I thought it's sugar. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, basically, but
it's made of
cotton candy. Americans call it.
Cotton candy. Yeah, that's it. Cotton candy.
They can't accept the name already existed. Candy floss, or zucker water, sugar water.
Yeah.
So the Germans call it sugar water. The Americans call it cotton candy, and the Bosnians also calling it cotton candy.
Yep. So I just converted it.
Cotton of the candy. Cotton of the candy of the cotton, rather. So, dental floss. I call it dental floss because that's what you use it for.
yeah, actually, yeah.
Do you know what? My wife loves it, and she's always like, she buys it, and it's always in the, they sell it and they put it in like a plastic bag, and you stick your hand in and you pull it out, Oh, Wasser is water.
Uh-huh,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
Wasser is water, isn't it? On my German lessons. And she's always like, "Do you want some?" And my kids are shoving their hands in this bag, yeah, pulling it out. And they've also been like scratching their bums or picking their noses 5 minutes ago. And then she goes,
Yeah,
"Do you want some?" I'm like, no, I'm not putting my hand in that bag. That's disgusting. And she's like, "But they're your children." Like, but that doesn't make it any better. just because they came from us doesn't make it hygienic. I'm not shoving my hand in that bag of cotton candy.
yeah,
Oh, I'd rather be
yeah.
playing about with Vegetation Engine, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it's the same when using honey. No matter what you do, everything is just covered in honey.
Yeah, don't stick your hands in the honey jar, mate.
Yeah. Okay, so I just converted one of the birch trees, and it needs some adjustment. So basically, when you do a conversion, everything needs a bit of adjustment. Some of them might work by default, but usually you will need to tweak the colors or the wind. So as you can see, this tree is quite the colors are a bit blown up. So
It's radioactive.
yeah, I just need to tone it down a bit. And here the problem is the subsurface. I just need to tone down the subsurface view a bit. The subsurface view is actually, how to explain it? It works. It works by when you look at the sun, the subsurface view is responsible for the subsurface intensity. So it basically is a view-based subsurface between the view angle and the sun direction. Okay, so this need to be toned down a bit, and from here we can play with some colors. I don't know. Let's try the default colors I saw. I think it was red on top in their demo and yellow in the bottom. Let's try these colors. Okay, the normals look a bit odd, so I just need to change the render normals option from flip to none. And now we have a pretty decent looking shading for this tree.
How do we make it not so glowing?
I can just reduce the colors a bit.
Because it seems a bit bright. Yeah, in chat they're saying it seems
Yeah.
a bit bright, like in the light how it's shining. Yeah, basically it's a Chernobyl tree.
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
So we can
You can do that. So
lumens.
yeah.
Light
So
intensity of HDRP is killing me. High lumens. I do not get it. Why? What's the big difference compared to built-in? So
yeah, I don't know actually. They use physically based light settings. I don't know what those are. So if you need to plug in 1 million or 5 million or 10, I don't know what to choose. So I just play with the settings until I get something decent.
So Goku says HDRP uses realistic lighting, and
Yeah.
standard is just something else.
Yeah, exactly. So I just made 2 trees for two different packages working with the same system in HDRP. Even if one of them by default worked in HDRP, the second one is just standard or built-in and universal compatible. Once converted, it works with HDRP.
Okay. Sengoku says 10,000 lumens is normal daylight.
10,000, yeah, I actually use
Fresh Meat says 6,000.
4,000. I don't know why it just looks okay, and I just set my how is it called? Let me see. The exposure to 9.7 and the compensation 0.5. I didn't look at the documentation. I have no idea what these values do. It just looks okay.
And
So
you like me just tweak values until something looks pretty.
yeah.
That's what's important.
All right. What else do I have here? So I have Illustrated Nature, the free package, and there are some pretty nice prefabs in here.
So do you have one that you don't have a preset for?
Yeah, there are a lot of assets I don't have presets for.
Can we do one afterwards that you don't have a preset for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually we can do one for this one because as I can see it uses some custom shaders, and it actually works with my procedural presets. It was not intended, it just works because the naming convention in the shader is the same as my procedural preset, so that's why it works. But
So it's a happy accident that it works.
yeah, it's a happy accident. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, we can make one. So for this one, I will just choose procedural 3, convert, and that's it. It's working. Again, it needs some tweaks for the subsurface. And what I noticed, because I add a procedural variation for the tree, some of the leaves are disconnected when I use a higher rolling animation.
So they just start floating around.
Yeah, they are just floating around because
like they've got magic
is...
powers and they're just...
Yeah. So in order to fix it, because the variation is procedural and I cannot calculate it properly, I will need to use the scale sliders instead. So I just set the rolling variation to 0 and use the rolling scale to set the rolling scale to a higher value.
I love how it's dancing at the bottom like it's a snake.
Yeah, it's still not perfect, but it works. All right, I will just leave it as is. Okay, and you talked about the alien fantasy pack.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, let's try one of these ones.
Oh, look at all those pearls! Look at them; they're lovely and pink. I love them.
Yeah.
Hang on, scroll back up a second. On the far right hand side, some of these are looking really rude. Like you know,
the stick ones.
The silhouettes of them just look like this is a family channel for families, and I'm going to get in trouble in terms of service if somebody saw those. I'm putting my hand over the screen so nobody can see what they look like. Okay.
Yeah, I will just scroll down a bit. Okay, let's try. I don't know. I see a palm tree here. Let's try this one. Yeah. So as before, everything is pink. Actually, I think there are some HDRP shaders, but I don't really care because I can just convert with standard
I was going to say, like,
shaders.
sometimes even if they have, they come with like their own ones. Is it a case of actually sometimes they're not even very good? Like I won't mention any names, but I bought some assets and they used not Amplify but Shader Forge, but really old versions of Shader Forge,
Yeah.
and they hadn't basically. I had to keep on asking and asking. Eventually, they fixed a load of problems with the materials, the shaders on their trees. And I was thinking, you know, like it'd be so much easier if I just used somebody else's shaders on their on his models, and away you go. And if I imported them in with this, then I wouldn't have to worry about their bad shaders because your one just takes over.
Yes. Yeah, actually, once everything is converted, you can just delete the original shaders. Nowadays, there is a really big problem with Unity. You always exceed 256 shader keywords. This is a big problem in Unity nowadays.
Oh.
And if you once you convert everything, you can just delete those original shaders because they are not used anymore. So you first of all you can get rid of that error that always pops up. And second, with SRPs, if you are using just a few shaders for everything, you will benefit from using the SRP batcher.
Okay, so you basically it rewards you for limiting all the different shaders that you're using.
Yes, when using the SRP batcher, the materials are batched by shader. Actually, the everything is batched by shader, not by material. So if you have 1,000 materials with the same shader, they are basically batched. So you will have less draw calls in your game.
That's
by
very
using
important.
by using the same shader.
Oh, brilliant. And we've talking about exceeding shader keywords. Wizards Don't Code writes in chat, you exceed shader keywords just by looking at the Procedure World's store page. And the rest of the chat are trying to work out how to do the formula of 1 LX equals 1 lumen by 1 meter squared.
Yeah, you know what the problem is with keywords? Unity added this feature for anybody to use, but they are actually using almost all of them, so you are stuck with nothing to use. Yeah, that's the problem.
Like that. You're stuck with nothing.
Yeah, you're stuck with nothing. Actually, I barely use it nowadays. If you have 0 shader keywords, it's actually a feature. So I actually added it. If you read the Vegetation Engine description, I actually added it to the features list that I have 0 global keywords.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
There you go. It's a good advertisement there.
Yeah. Yeah, stupid, but it's important, I think. Okay, so let me just choose manufacture K4 Alien Forest and
So
let's
are
see.
you happy with the Alien Forest?
Oh yeah. I really like it.
So you recommend I get it then?
Yeah, sure.
If I get it and I don't like
the,
it, do I do what my people who review my assets? They go, I watched your video, and you recommended blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I didn't like it because it didn't make me a cup of tea.
Yeah.
You know, it's like my particular project requires some extreme customization. The asset didn't support it, so now I blame you. So I'm going to be like that with this one. So it better be perfect. Oh,
Yeah.
look at that! Look at the tree. The tree. Oh, that is proper alien, that isn't it?
Wow. So
is that on purpose?
no, it's not.
Because that looks out of another planet. It really does, doesn't it?
Yeah, let's see if we can fix it, because this doesn't work good at all.
Wow.
So I will just add a bit of bending.
Cool. While you're working on that, while you're fixing that up, Wizards, because we were joking about procedural worlds and their shaders. Now, Wizard Uncode. So I can use my believed procedural worlds assets, replace Veg shaders with Veg Engine, and I have space left in my shader keywords. That's a selling point on its own. Even more of a selling point is if there's a single button for it, button that says clean my shaders.
No, there is none. So actually, I didn't add anything like that because I don't keep track of anything. Everything is fetched when you select a prefab, and I don't know, when you set the settings.
Mm-hmm.
There are no settings stored in this prefab script. Everything is fetched on selection. So the Vegetation Engine doesn't care about shaders, doesn't care about meshes, doesn't care about anything actually.
Okay.
So yeah, actually I don't know what the original shaders are.
It doesn't care. It doesn't try to convert them. It doesn't. They didn't exist to them.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to clean them up manually, you can, but you cannot do it with this tool.
This tool basically says, I don't care about them.
Yeah,
I can throw them in the dustbin and just delete them out of your project because you don't need them anymore. You've got me. That's your old girlfriend. She doesn't look as sexy as me. You don't need her anymore. Throw away her photos. You've got my photos to look at from now on. It's basically what Veg Engine is saying.
Yeah,
pretty much. I get it. I like it.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Zoom back in on that tree. Has it now? Does it still have that weird?
It looks a bit better. It still have this. Actually, let's try to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try to fix it. In order to fix it, I need to change some options for the leaves. Yeah, as I can see, I use a procedural sphere mask for the wind.
Ah, okay.
So
I love it when I pretend like I understand what you're saying to me. Like, haha.
Yeah, this is the advanced part. So I will just I don't know how to explain it, but basically you have three motion layers. The first one is the bending, the second one is the branches, and the third one is the leaves. So I just need to choose some better masks for each motion layer.
Okay.
So for the primary motion, the bending, I will just use a height mask, which is black on the bottom and white on the top.
Now I understand that. That I can understand. So
okay.
I'm with you so far. Good.
For the branches, I will just use a spherical, or I can go with, I don't know, cylindrical or a capsule.
We don't make mistakes.
Capsule works
We have
just
happy
fine.
accidents.
No, actually a cylinder. And for the leaves, I think I will just use something that doesn't affect these scales. I don't know what they are, some kind of scales. So I will just go with a cylindrical as well, because cylindrical, imagine that you have a cylinder encapsulating the tree.
Like a big
In the
capsule
mid-
collider.
Yeah, in the middle, starting from the middle, everything is black, and it goes to white to the extent, or how do you call it, to the end of the cylinder. So let's try with this one.
In chat, Sanyo was saying this could be used to create some nice underwater alien-like vegetation motion. Yeah, because the water is going to be having a much more drastic impact than wind would.
Yeah. Yeah, actually we can do it for one of the trees.
I'm really loving this. I'm so glad you're showing your screen, because it would take you 10 years to try and explain to me, move the slider there.
Yeah, go with your mouse to position X, Y. Okay, as you can see, it already works better. No more flutter
Oh wow.
on these things.
The top goes crazy and the bottom stays perfectly still. I love it.
Yeah, a bit of rolling. Let's see. A bit of leaves animation and a bit of flutter, and that's it. Okay, so some underwater motion, right?
This is lovely.
Actually, let's try that with with this tree. Let's see. I don't know how it should, how a palm should move under the water, but let's see. So for an underwater motion, I most likely need to use the scale instead of the variation. The scale works. It adds a wobbly motion. I think that's a good description for it.
It's the wobbly meter.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if you can see it on my screen.
That's a good way to describe it. And the more that you do, I see it like it does a drastic jerk and then settles it. So as you move it, it does an extreme, and then it shows you what it's going to be like. So like you said earlier, when you're experimenting, put all of the sliders down to 0 and move them one at a time and see if you're happy with it.
Them, only the amplitude. Because the speed and scale and variation, it's set pretty standard and it works pretty well for everything. So yeah, just set the amplitudes to 0 and start from there. Maybe you just want a bit of flutter on the leaves, or maybe you just want a bit of leaves amplitude. Most of the time when I look at real trees, they don't even have a big banding like I like to do. I like to add a lot of banding and a lot of flutter.
Oh, look at that! Well, so as you're bending, it's actually bending so much that it's separating.
Yeah. Again, it's separating because I'm using the variation, and since there is no proper variation, it works like this.
Wow.
So instead, I can just use
the scale instead.
Yeah, the scale instead.
So use the scale as the wobbliness rather than the variation.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it looks a bit.
So do you spend a lot of your time going out looking at trees in the wild?
Not a lot of time now with the pandemic. I spend a lot of time at home, but yeah, I don't know. Since I started with this asset, I actually look a lot at vegetation, how it's moving.
Sanya was asking, so you
Yeah.
do not, you do not have to use Veg Engine Motion. You could use it from the vegetation renderers instead.
The motion.
What do you mean, Sanya? Like instead of making use of Veg Engine's motion.
No, the motion is driven by the vegetation engine. So
Oh, wind.
basic, yeah, the wind. Yeah, actually, let's say vegetation, vegetation
So if you've got
renderer.
if you got, I was going to say vegetation studio, but if you use nature renderer's got its own wind in it, and
Yeah,
vegetation engine has its own wind in it.
yeah. So basically,
Why would you choose one over the other?
you cannot choose.
Aha.
So basically, with let's say nature renderer, I think it has some controllers for the wind and for the snow, but you cannot use those. In order to use those, you will need to write a simple script that controls that controls my my parameters from the vegetation engine. I don't know if I explain it. So basically, you cannot use any third-party wind solution. You will need to use my solution.
So
But
yeah, okay.
with a few lines of code, you can just set up, for example, to use Vegetation Studio wind and that to control my wind.
So what about integration with other things such as like Enviro or Unistorm?
With Enviro, actually, somebody wrote a script to control my systems from Enviro.
Oh,
So
cool.
if you go to the documentation, you will find the script there.
That's good.
Yeah.
How about the other ones like Unistorm and the other assets like that?
No, I don't have one for those, but I'm pretty sure if I look at it, it can be done in probably 10 minutes. Or for any programmer, it can be done in a few minutes and a few
You're
lines.
forgetting about how lazy customers are.
Yeah, I know.
If people weren't lazy, they wouldn't be asking me to do tutorial videos about how to get things to work together.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do some more stuff. I don't know. Let's add some snow.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's one thing we haven't played with snow yet. We've been playing about with wind.
Yeah.
And we've made something like as though it's going to be underwater. Just before we jump in, the Callow Creations in the house. Hello, Callow, and thank you so much for the sub. We had earlier. We had how many months was it in a row? Distant Temples, 27 months in a row for Distant Temples. Thank you much for the subscription, buddy. The continued support and love. So you've got wet, you've got snow, you've got wind, you've got movement, interaction.
Yeah, and a lot more with the element system that it's quite modular and you can do a lot of stuff. Like probably some of you saw my video with the rolling fireball.
Yes, I loved that video with the fireball.
Yeah, that's all done with the elements.
So that's the kind of stuff that you'd see in like a micro splat video where he would showcase like lava coming down and burning things.
Yeah. Actually, I think it's pretty similar to that in terms of implementation.
Twitcher is asked, can you change shades over vegetation like painting vertex color?
Painting vertex color?
Or take the shade from the terrain? So Twitcher, are you talking about if you want to blend into the terrain? Is that what you're talking about, Twitchero? Messy and sweet talking, make it big, you got it wet, it's nice looking with yes, Sanyo. Don't take my words out of context. If you have grass, have light and dark grass areas. I saw that in one of your videos where you were doing like some weird smoky mask, looked like a cloud, and it was changing things red.
Yeah, actually, let's do it. Actually, you can change the grass shading in a few ways, and actually the vegetation too. So I have this noise section in the shaders, where you can just choose a noise texture. Let's find one.
Okay, that's quite noisy.
Okay, and let's try a few colors here. Red and blue, because
Why not?
why not? Yeah.
Oh wow.
Let's set it like this. Yeah, actually the blue is not really visible, so I will just change it to something else.
That is bloody nice. While you're doing that, I've been told off because apparently there was a question I missed. And probably like always, it's probably one of Sengoku's questions. In that case, I have to ask the same question as Sengoku asked. Do you have to do so much work on every plant to get it to look nice? If it's not a presetted one, I'm assuming that you're going to have to tweak a lot. But if it's included in one of your presets, a lot of the work is already done.
Yeah. I would say that 90% of the work is done through the preset. If it's not included, then yeah, probably you need to do some work.
So if you're importing in 50 different trees, it's going to take you a bit of time to sit and do it. But is there a way for me to save that now and export that as a preset in another project so I don't have to do it every time?
No, there is no way right now to do it. But for instance, if you set the shading and everything for one tree, let's say this one.
Yeah.
I can just save the settings as they are now.
Yeah.
I can just save the settings, but not the conversion preset.
Okay.
So only the shading, and I save it to custom my preset. I can save it, and if I convert another tree, oops, let's see a similar one. So let's say this one. I convert it again using Azure.
Where was I?
Azure, where is it? Yeah, here. Tree. So this one is green, that one is red with yellow. So if I have everything saved, actually if I save that preset, I can just open the prefab settings window, go to material presets and choose a preset. And I save it to custom my preset. And once I click it, I can just use those settings. And that's it.
Yeah, that makes life a lot easier.
Yeah. So you can basically save some stuff, but not the presets. Yeah, maybe in the future I will add some options to save the preset. But
yeah, that'd be nice.
The presets are much more complex than the settings, because in the prefab converter, everything. When you see these advanced settings, this is just a small part of the conversion, and it only includes the mesh conversion. All the material conversion is in the preset. So basically, I can save these settings for the mesh, but the material need to be written manually.
And if Sunkoku's saying that you've already saved the preset, but you want to change it, so now you want to change the shader settings that you've saved.
Yeah, let's say you want to change the settings, maybe the colors. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's try some green one. So one way to do it is to just open the prefab settings window. Until now, I did everything on the material. So I went to the material and changed it on the material. So basically what the prefab settings do is to set all the materials at once on the prefab. So instead of going, let's say this prefab have two materials here, two different materials here, and two different materials here. Once I open the prefab settings, I can just set those settings found on the material for everything at once. So one way to do it is to let's choose the gradient. As you can see, this is the gradient settings. So let's choose the gradient settings, and I can see the same settings that I have on the material in the prefab settings as well. So if I change it here to green, it's changing on the material as well.
Why are there two cursors? That's because he's got my cursor and he's got his cursor. Sorry, it's confusing him. So,
yeah. So basically, what it does is just changing the materials, and that's it. So right now, what I can do is to save the current settings, only the gradient and the denoise one. Save it to a new preset. Let's say preset 2. And if I choose now for these three, I saved the settings for the entire tree and the entire settings. And if I just load it back, the first one, my presets, nothing changes. But since for this for the second one, I just saved the colors, I can just choose the second preset, and it will just override the colors if it works.
If it
works. Actually,
you got to select the right one.
Yeah.
It's always good to select the right tree.
So yeah. And if you open one of those presets, you can see what it does. So it basically just uses my simple API for setting colors or setting textures, and all it does is just materials just is just I just check by material to see if I need to do something with this line. If this line starts with something else, it will be ignored. So basically it says material set color on this gradient color and set it to this color. So right now I can just, it is opened in Notepad, and I can just say set the top color, basically the gradient color 1, the top color to red, and I can just change it to 1, 0, 0.
Blasphemy!
Actually, let's make it blue, because why not? And I just save it, and I think I save it on preset 2. And if I just go back to a tree, go to prefab settings and choose preset 2, I just change it to blue and something else, I don't know, yellow, or what was the second color.
Cool. So that's editing the prefab presets that you're setting. Now, in your folder, in the Vegetation Engine core folder, you've got a folder called presets, and in there you've got the converter. Now those files, which are with an extension .tve converter,
convert,
I'm going to guess that's some kind of scriptable object.
No, actually, it's not.
What is it?
No, it's just a text file again.
Oh, it's just so you can edit your.
Yeah, you can edit it with any text editor.
And you've got the file that says "I made it."
Yes.
So you could use that. You could duplicate that one.
Yeah.
And make your own converter presets based off the "I made it" one. Could you?
Yes. Yeah. Let's do a preset for illustrated nature, because I said that it works with the procedural preset. So I just duplicate one of the presets and let's call it, I don't know, I made it illustrated IL. So basically what this preset does is to first set the mesh conversion, so how everything is transferred from the original mesh to the new mesh, or it can be transferred or it can be procedurally added. And the second part is how the material settings are copied over. And the third part is how the textures are combined, because in some cases, let's say SpeedTree. SpeedTree uses a texture, a mask map, which, I don't know, it has metallic in blue, let's say. I use metallic in the red channel, so I need to combine those channels to make it work with the Vegetation Engine. So this is a basic preset, and it contains these three parts: the mesh conversion, the material conversion, and the texture conversion if needed.
Cool. I'm understanding it so far.
Okay.
You're doing a very good job at explaining this. Are you saying that sometimes you don't explain what? Yeah, no, you are.
Okay, so let's do a pretty basic.
Yes, let's do
it
as basic as me.
I will just delete this stuff. I won't delete the mesh settings because
you're actually going to delete them rather than just change them. I would have just been like changing them.
I can change them, but I think it's a bit easier to just. Actually, I never delete anything, and I just copy. But for this purpose, I think I will just delete them.
I love this. I've never actually done this before, but you know what? Let's just do it because I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, I actually, for the mesh, I will just copy the preset for the tree and paste it here because it works.
Exactly. I was about to say we know that one works.
Yeah. Oh. I don't know what I did here, but
Sengoku, why are you calling me evil? I've just been called evil in my chat. You're lovely.
Okay.
Are you having a nice time, Christian?
Yeah.
You don't sound very convincing.
Yes, I do actually.
Very good.
All right. So how I do it actually when I do a conversion preset. First of all, let me revert this to the original one.
While you're doing this, can I remind everyone that they can type !veg engine in chat. They will get a link to the asset store, which obviously has my affiliate code in it, that if you click it, you can currently purchase the Vegetation Engine on a 50% sale in the asset store best of Supercell. However, Christian's been very kind to give a free copy of Vegetation Engine to one lucky winner that we're going to have a raffle later on after he's finished making this one here. So if you haven't won it, go and buy it because it's on sale and you know you won't be sad. If you miss it and it's then on full price and you had the chance to buy it at 50% off, you will be sad because you'll say to yourself, why didn't I buy it when it was 50% off? Because this looks really useful. You would say to yourself, before he came on Messy's stream, I had no idea what it was. Now I know what it is. I wish I bought it. Oh dear, the sale's over. You don't want that to happen. So there you go. That's my sales pitch for the day.
Yeah, I wish Unity gave us more vouchers to use. We actually have 12 a year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, yeah.
It's 12 a year, and it's not like you get 12, and if you didn't use them the next year you get an extra 12, so you've got 24. No, that's it. You got 12.
No, that's it. Yeah, that's it. All right. So first thing that I do is just to go to the shaders and check what are the properties, the internal properties, and what I need to copy over to my shader.
Do you need to really understand shaders to do this?
Not really. Actually, if you know what, actually you need to understand them a bit, because you need to know what this color is and what alpha cut is and what main text is, or where it is used. Because if you have no idea what main text is, you don't know what to do with it. So basically you need to understand a bit what a shader property is and where it is used. So I can see here that he's using a color for the color. Actually, I didn't look at the shader, but I know what it does. So color is used for the color. Alpha cut is used for the alpha threshold, and main text is used as the albedo texture. So what I will do right now is just to copy over these values and this texture to my shader. So that's pretty easy. I just need to type in material, copy color.
Are you regretting deleting the other one at this point?
Sorry?
Are you wishing you didn't delete the previous one?
No, it's fine. It's fine. I will just add these 3 lines of code, I think, for now. So copy color, and I copy it from color underscore color to my color, which is called main color. Okay, and for fun, let's copy it over to the subsurface color as well, because there is no subsurface color, but I can just copy it, so let's do it. And my subsurface color is called subsurface color, I think. I don't know. Most of the time I need to look at the parameters. There are a lot. So let's start with this. I just save it. I just go back to the prefab converter, and now I see I made it IL preset, and I just click convert.
Oh.
And that's it.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, it worked.
The texture, the main albedo texture is not copied over, but the color it is.
Yeah, because you wrote the color one in the file, but you didn't do anything for the texture. Understandable.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So let's do it for the texture as well. I think it's copy text, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, actually I work with my documentation as well, because I don't know how I named these functions. So
Oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one who forgets what he does.
And albedo is main albedo text. Okay, just save it again.
Have you got a typo in there?
Yeah. Main albedo. Yeah, you're right.
I look after you, don't worry.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, that's it. And I don't need to revert it or anything like that. I just go back to the converter and convert it again. And that's it. The texture is added.
Ah.
All right. So let's do it for the alpha threshold. If I did it, if I gone this far.
Yeah, we might as well go all the way.
So let's set the alpha cutoff to something like this. And I think it was called alpha cutout, right?
Yes, I remember that one.
This is copy float from alpha. It's alpha cut off.
Cut off. Yeah, cut off.
Yeah, to cut off.
Shader witchcraft. It is shader witchcraft. Right.
Okay, let's see what I did here. So basically, that's my process of creating presets. I just get the values, transfer them, checking if everything works, and yeah, see, alpha threshold is now
there you go,
0, 2, 2, 4. So yeah, basically that's my process. I just go back and forth checking everything. I just make sure that everything is copied correctly. If some of the parameters I cannot copy them, I just set a default value, let's say for the smoothness. As you can see, the smoothness looks a bit broken because there is no normal map, so I just set it by default to 0.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, and I just hope that the original shader doesn't change too much with feature versions. So
I was going to say
that's it basically.
It's a bit hard to maintain that. That's brilliant. So do we need to use a prefab converter? Can we just replace shaders on materials?
Yes, you can. You can, but you will need the masks for the wind, which are encoded in UV4, in UV1, W and Z, which are not accessible in FBX. So it's a bit trickier to do, but you can. For instance, I did it like that for the static prefabs, because a static prefab doesn't need the masks. So I just replaced the shaders and that's it.
So are you able to get the wetness and the snow now on those statics?
Yes. Actually, let's.
Yeah, we were playing about with the grass. We got distracted because that was awesome. What you just showed now was brilliant. Thank you for that. Just before you show us the snow on the rocks, you were showing us the different ways of changing the grass. One of the questions they had, because you've done it on that patch there, are you able to add that mask on an entire terrain's worth of grass?
Yes. Actually, so this is only one way to add variation to the grass. The second one would be to use the elements. Let me try to get rid of this somehow.
Wizards Don't Code says, I have got to go. Family just arrived back soon-ish. Well, Wizard, thank you for popping in, and I'm glad you already own Vegetation Engine, and now you know what it is. So you're going to go back to using it. He previously had opened it up once, didn't work when he tried to use it because it was pushing random buttons, and never went back to it. Now he can refer back to this video because the VOD will be available on Twitch. You can watch it back anytime you want. I will eventually get around to sticking it on YouTube. And if you get stuck, just watch back this video and see how Christian did it, because it seems so easy to do.
Yeah, when I do it.
Exactly, when you do it. So just copy what he's doing.
Yeah, actually, I had a lot of issues with the documentation. It was not clear enough, and I don't think right now it is clear enough. But it's just a lot of stuff, and I don't know how to put them actually. All my tutorials in the documentation are just some overviews on what you can do and how to do it, but they are not explained in detail. So this is something I want to work more on.
Well, this is brilliant. I mean, seeing this, what you're doing here is awesome.
Yeah. So let me show you how you can add more variation to the grass. And I'm doing it by using an element. So what is an element? It's just a basic object in the scene.
Hang on, that's like when we added the element on top of this in the sphere, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm right now. I will just use it as a standalone element in the scene. So basically, it's just a simple object in the scene, which is then rendered by the volume on some render buffers. I won't go into too much detail with this. Basically, it is rendered to a texture, and that texture is sent globally to all the shaders. So when I add an element, this element is rendered to that texture, which is sent to the shader. And if I set this element to red, everything will be colored in red. So it basically works like a decal.
Yeah.
So basically, that's it. It's just a simple concept, and you can do a lot of stuff with it. So right now, let's say I just want to add a noise to all my grass. As you can see, everything is affected by it. In version 2, I added some more advanced stuff. You can choose which shaders to affect. So basically,
cool. So I can say, don't change my tree, just change the grass.
Yeah.
Because at the moment the tree's leaves are changing as well as the grass.
Yeah. For now, I will leave it like this, and if anybody knows, I can go into more detail with the new buffers. That's quite new. It's not really documented, and yeah, probably it would be a good idea to go into more details with that. But for now, I will just add a simple noise.
By the way, what's the best way that people can get a hold of you? Email, Discord, carrier pigeon? What do you prefer?
Discord, yeah.
Do you have your own channel on the Discord?
Yeah, I have my own channel.
Let me put a link for it in the chat. Fresh Me, could you put a link to Boxophobic's Discord?
I think I need to register, right?
That's okay. So Fresh Meat will do it for us. Fresh Meat's lovely. He'll paste it in the chat. Don't worry.
I will. Yeah. Okay.
He'll do that. He loves helping. He actually said, "If I'd like to help, if you're interested." Fresh Meat, are you offering to help Christian with his documentation? Is that what you were offering to help with? Because you were saying that your documentation is room for improvement. And then Fresh Meat said, "I'd like to help if you're interested." What are you offering to help in? He's so Fresh Meat, who's the wonderful moderator of this channel. He's also helps with Cincy Studios.
I would be glad to see more people
There you go.
doing tutorials for the Vegetation Engine, because it is quite hard for me to work on everything. I think I have 7 assets that I need to take care of.
Also, Fresh Meat speaks fluent Romanian.
Who?
Fresh Meat.
Ah, yeah, me too.
No, he uses Google Translate.
English not so much, but
Google Translate turns all of us into experts in every language.
Yeah. Actually, for my some of my tutorials lately, I used an AI voice generator, and it does a pretty good job. Yeah, in English. So check it out.
Oh, awesome!
Most people didn't even realize that that's generated.
I think I know the one you're using, because I paid for some to create subtitles for my videos or something like that.
Yeah. I think I can say the name, right?
Yeah, of course.
Speechello, something like that.
I think, aren't they Romanian as well?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw a video from them, and I just noticed that the accent sounds Romanian.
So you should have got a discount, a local discount.
Yeah, they should.
Well, Fresh Meat, I'll hook you up with Christian after the chat, after the stream.
Yeah, sure.
He's absolutely wonderful. I managed to steal him, luckily, when I did, and he hasn't broken anything yet. So he's actually. I'm down. He's down for it. He says, and he's very cheap. You only have to pay him $5,000 a day. And
nice. Yeah, I can afford it. Up to 10,000 a day, it's fine.
Yeah. It's cheaper than getting Photon Quantum at 1,000 a month. So that's good. Yeah. So you've got. We're gonna put snow now. So we can. Or are we gonna be? Did you want to customize that to only affect the grass, not the trees, or do you want to leave that for?
Yeah, let's do it now. If I play with the elements right now, let's do it. So basically, I just added an element, and that it's a color element, and that affects the tint of everything, of the grass and of the foliage. Actually, it doesn't affect the bark because I didn't add this functionality. So basically,
I'm not sure you'd want the bark to be changing though, with that, would you?
Yeah. You can, if you want, you can just go to Amplify Shader Editor and enable the support, and that's it.
That looks so cool.
Actually, I can show you how the Amplify Shader Editor works, because there are 2 layers to it. Just 1 second.
Oh my word! I did. Okay, Christian. I complimented Fresh Meat, and now he's spending the next 20 minutes typing in chat how wonderful he is. That's the biggest mistake I've done all week. He's posting about how everyone, all the different people who love him. There you go. The list is never ending. Yes, Fresh Meat, you are wonderful. If we could cuddle because of COVID, we would, but we can't. It's social distancing. I'm sorry, mate. Amplify Shader is fantastic. ! Amplify in chat, please. ! Amplify in chat.
So this is basically how a shader look. you have this base shader which have a lot of features on and off for each shader. So basically, this is the bark shader. If you want the bark to be affected by the color elements, you just need to go and find the global colors mode and set it to on, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. If you want to go into more details, you can enable the base shader and
Okay, wow, look at that.
change this stuff. So
this is why I don't do shader stuff. When I see this, I get a nervous breakdown.
So this is what I see all day, and this is what the user should see in the end. Yeah, I won't compile anything right now, and I will just go back to my color element. So yeah, this element affects everything. I will just set it to red because it's more visible. And let's say if let's say I want to affect only the grass. So that's pretty easy, but it's undocumented yet. Basically, you just need to set the element layer to grass.
Okay.
And once this is done, you need to create a new buffer, a volume buffer.
Okay.
Yeah, a new buffer.
So, Fresh Meat, are you taking note of this, Fresh Meat? Because you need to write this documentation. Okay.
Yeah, I need to do it.
So get Fresh Meat's going to do this for you now. He's taking a note. He's copying this for you.
Please do. I just set the buffer layer to. This is already using. It is a colors buffer.
Okay. Oh, you can have colors, extras, or motion buffer.
Yeah. There are three buffers available right now. 3 types. So the colors is responsible for color elements and healthiness elements, which controls the subsurface. Because in some cases, when you have snow and everything, you don't want the subsurface to affect the vegetation because it is covered by snow. The extras is responsible for the size elements, snow elements, which is called overlay, because I tend to name everything more generic because I don't know what I will add in the future. So I'm just trying to name everything as generic as possible. And the motion buffer is responsible for the interaction, wind power, and I think that's it. Motion direction, you can actually set a different motion direction for a portion of the grass and a different direction for the other.
Really?
Using elements.
Oh, nice. So you could could you have that dynamic? So you could have like a wind turbine blowing and stuff.
Yeah, I can do it in a moment. Okay, so I will just set these 2 colors and the layer set to grass. So basically, this element writes to the grass buffers only. So I set this buffer to grass only, and I just need to add this buffer to the global volume. So I have these 3 default buffers, and I just add another one. I just add the new one here, and as you can see, the grass is affected by the color element, and everything else is not.
Can you do this at runtime? Could you instantiate an element in runtime?
I'm not. Yeah, I think you can.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm not really sure because not a lot of people do stuff like this at runtime. Yeah, actually, I need to look at the code and.
Well, do you know, I would be doing stuff like seasons or something like that. You'd have it go browner.
Yeah. Actually, I will show you how to set up a simple season. All right. So basically, that's it. Right now, this buffer. So actually, this element only affects this buffer. As you can see, the element here, and this buffer only affects the grass shaders, and that's why only the grass is affected right now. So if I go back and set it to any, actually I want to affect any shader, everything will be affected. If I want to go to affect vegetation only, I can go and affect vegetation only, and for some reason is not working. Yeah, this is still experimental, and actually it is working, but I need to set my buffer to vegetation. So right now only the vegetation is affected and the grass is not.
Oh, it's awesome. We've got a couple of questions in chat. I'll go first to the Enviro. You mentioned before somebody else integrated with Enviro,
Yeah.
and that code's available in your documentation.
Yes.
Do you know? Did they integrate only the wind, or did they also integrate all of this kind of stuff?
They integrated the wind, the seasons, and the wetness probably. I don't know what else there is in there. But I'm pretty sure the seasons and the wind is added.
Oh, I'll go to look at that because there's so many ideas running through my head right now. TwitchView's got an interesting one. You know how you can use the Unity animator for modifying like exposed elements of objects. Is that asking could you animate one element to another? So are you saying TwitchView like use the animator to be able to modify what element layer is selected?
Yeah, actually you can. Yeah, you can animate anything as any default parameter in Unity. So you can do it. Actually, in my videos, I always use the seasons. The season slider, I always animate it using the animator.
Do you do the seasons now while you're chatting to me? So if you go.
So, okay, let's. I think I didn't enable the snow right until now.
No, let's do snow.
Okay, so that's pretty simple. It's just enabling the snow. Okay, and let's talk about the seasons and the elements, because the seasons by itself it doesn't do anything.
The
seasons is only there to affect the elements. So let me do an element to disable the snow on summer and spring, and just leave it on winter. So that's pretty easy to do. A lot of people ask me if the element size matters. No, in this case it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect performance, so you can make it as big as you want. Just to cover the entire scene. I will just set the shader to elements, extras, overlay. And right now, as you can see, there is only one. Let me set it back to any, and let me delete the buffer. Actually, just set it to 3. Okay, so as you can see, this element right now it only have one value to control the snow. So if I want to use it with the season slider, I just need to set the element mode to seasons. Once I set it to seasons, yeah, that's it. I have 4 sliders for each season. So it works basically like this. I want to have full snow in the winter, so I just leave it to 1. I want 0 snow on the spring, summer, and autumn. So basically that's it. If I now move the slider, once I get to the winter,
Ooh.
I get snow. And basically this is how all the elements work. So let's say in the same fashion, I will just create, let's disable the overlay for now, and let's create a new element. Basically just duplicating this, a new element which is a color element, and set it again to seasons, and I can just choose a color for each season. So let's say
Yes, exactly.
I leave it
Autumn's going to be a brownish thing, isn't it?
brownish, and let's see how it looks with that one.
Oh,
Maybe,
that's what I was after.
yeah, maybe in the winter, in the autumn, you don't want, since everything is, let's say, dry, you don't want that much subsurface scattering.
No, I don't.
So I will just duplicate it, choose the healthiness element, and I will just set it in the autumn to be a bit lower.
Oh.
Something like this. I don't want to go all the way down, just a bit, to make it a bit more dry, let's say.
There's a question in chat which I was going to ask, but I was going to get to it gradually. The first question I was going to ask is, can I have another element that dictates the sizes? Like in autumn, there's going to be more patches of gaps of grass. There won't be so much grass. There'll be maybe some missing grass, or the grass, won't be so tall. Something like that.
Yeah, let's do it. I will just actually I will just add I will just do it for the grass.
Yeah.
And I will add back the grass buffer, because I want the size elements to only affect the grass. So I will just add it back. Okay.
So you're saying, how is it possible that we did not know how cool this asset is? This is why I've been chatting to Boxophobic for it's actually, what has it been, like 6 months, 8 months? We've been chatting on and off on Discord, and you were like, my English isn't very good. I'm practicing, and I was like, that was like in January, I think.
Yeah,
you said that.
yeah. Probably.
So I was like, is your English better now? Is your English better now? Is your English better now?
No, it's not actually.
Dude, your English has been your English has been perfect. Your English is better than mine. So I don't want to hear any nonsense from you.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think the main problem, and Chris has said it himself, the main problem that a lot of people don't know just the ins and outs of how cool this is it just the documentation. It wasn't very clear at first. Once you see Christian playing with it and he's showing what you can do with it, suddenly it's the realization is like, wow, all these different possibilities that you could do start becoming evident.
Yeah, I should probably do more videos like this.
Yeah, videos help so much better.
A lot of people ask me how you can do how you did the fireball. It's actually pretty easy to do, but it's hard to explain. So I just put a prefab in there with a fireball which you can use, and you can deconstruct it after that and see how it is made. So yeah, because I don't really feel comfortable speaking in English. I rely on that text to voice AI speech software, and I spend probably 1 or 2 days to just make a short video. I don't know, one minute of video in one day.
That's the thing. A lot of people don't appreciate just how long it takes to make a video.
Yeah.
It takes bloody a long time.
Yeah, so that's why I don't have more tutorials, because I spent a lot of time working on updates. If you check the change log, it's never ending. So for about a year, I worked every day on this tool. So yeah, I try to squeeze in some tutorials, working on the other assets as well, and a lot of support on Discord as well. Yeah, what I was doing,
Making the grass patches.
the size, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this element will be a size. Actually, I need a size element.
Oh.
Let's go to the elements and the size element. So with the size element, you can basically say you can set on each material if you want to be affected by an element or not.
Oh. So you can make it big and small.
Yeah, with the global settings.
Oh.
So basically, you can choose if one object should be affected by one of the elements or not.
Oh, so at the moment it's making the bark go, but it's not moving the leaves to go with it.
Yeah. Actually, I just need to set that setting on all the materials. If I set it to 1 on all of them, then it will work. So this is where the prefab settings come in handy, because you can just set the globals, let's say the size, for all the materials at once. Okay, so I won't do it this way. I will just use the buffer for the grass. So this buffer will only affect the grass, and I will set the size. Actually, I need to change the buffer to extras in order to render the. Maybe this would be a good idea to just work by default and to not set the buffer type manually. Okay, size, and let's see if this works. So this affect only the grass, and I can set the grass, right?
Oh, wow, awesome.
Yeah, let me scale it a bit. Let's add a noisy texture, so I can do it in patches. Let's say something like this. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, nice.
Something like this. And I want to be affected by the season slider. So in the winter, I want to set it to 0, and the other one, let's say something like this. So let's save the scene, and when I go back to the seasons.
Oh my word, look at that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, actually, here is a loop. So you cannot go from autumn to winter without setting it to the winter settings. But I don't know how many people actually go from dynamically from one season to another in a game.
Oh, I'll be doing it in an RTS. Like a, Tropico kind of thing. J. Quirky says, I'm sold. Callow Creations, also another amazing asset store creator and streamer, says, wow. Twitch Review says, I like. Sanyo says, awesome. Sangoku says, nice. Fresh Meat says, I love you. Yonin says, no more stupid grass poking through snow. Dude, that is awesome. Now, next question. Is Vegetation Engine magic enough to make leaves fall off trees?
No, you cannot do it, but you can do some stuff. So I have
Let me guess. Can you make the slider so that the trees disappear in the season, the leaves disappear in winter?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
So I have another element called leaves, and with that one I will just set it to any layer, main, and I will choose the extras leaves element. So with the leaves element, what it does, it actually just manipulates the alpha cutout. So basically it's the same as if you would go to the material and play with the alpha cutout.
Of course.
Yeah. So basically, for some reason it's not working. Let me check on one of the trees.
Did we break it?
Oh, leaves. Yeah, leaves is set to 0 for some reason. Yeah, let me set the leaves to 1 for everything. Just go to the globals and set everything to 1.
There you go. Good old globals.
Yeah.
Gilda says, I've tried that in other ways and it didn't work well. I really need that.
Yeah, it's actually not working for some reason. But why?
That's because you're on my stream. I have that magic power. That's the only reason why people come on the stream, is so that they can experience new bugs that they previously hadn't seen before. Is it because you've still got it set to the
Yeah, I know.
buffer?
I know what. Yeah. I actually have the buffer. The buffers work like Photoshop layers.
Yeah.
So the last one will override the one on the top. So this one is an extras buffer, and the last one is an extras buffer as well.
So the last one is overriding the previous one.
Yes, but it only works for the grass.
Yeah.
So in order to make it work, I just need to remove it, and hopefully, no, still not working. Huh. Yeah.
Hertzrat says, my internet is active. I can't load the stream. I'll check in later. Hertzrats, this is an amazing stream, mate. Catch the VOD later. You're gonna miss it if you don't. The VOD's gonna be here forever, so don't worry about it. This is an amazing asset. We're gonna be giving away Hertzrats. If chat works for you, stay in the chat at least. Can somebody tell Hertzrats, because if Hertzrats can't even hear me, somebody type in the chat that we're going to be doing a raffle. So Hertzrat should just stay around and do / raffle in the chat.
What's a raffle?
A raffle is like a tombola giveaway. So you get a ticket. Your ticket is put inside the big hat, and then you put your hand in the hat. You rummage around and you pull out one ticket and you read the name out. Kevin, is there a Kevin here? Kevin is the winner. Can Kevin please come forward? Kevin comes up and goes, there you go, you've won a PlayStation 5. Normally, whenever I've entered any of these, and this dates back to when I was a child in primary school. I must have been like 8 years old, okay? And there was the raffle, tombola, in the church hall in the school, okay? All of the kids with their little tickets that they bought were winning goldfishes, or they were winning toys or sweets. I won a bottle of homemade wine. I was a child. What am I going to do with a bottle of homemade wine? So it's ridiculous. And do you know the sad truth is, Chris?
Yeah.
From that, it's been 40 years since then. Every single of these type of raffles I've ever entered, like if we go to a fete or something, or to a circus or whatever, and they go, "Would you like to buy a ticket? We're going to be giving away a Porsche." Oh, that's nice. What's the second prize? A bottle of wine.
Yeah.
You go, well, I'm going to end up winning the bottle of wine. I always win the bottle of wine. Sengoku's spelling it as a waffle. Yes, it's a waffle, because I can't say my R's. My R's come out as W's. Sengoku, you know that. You've been watching me for 3 years now, Sengoku. If I've ever had... there's a Michael Woolrich, who makes the Destroyed Opera Pack. His name has got a W and an R in it. And it is one of the hardest words for me to pronounce. Thank you, Sengoku. Sanjo's invited Freshme. Freshme's not here, but he can still raffle. So I think Freshme really wants to do some documentation for you.
Yeah, I'll be glad, actually.
He's in love with the Vegetation Engine. Have you worked out why it wasn't working? Did you fix it?
Yeah, actually, I set the texture UVs to
0, was it?
Yeah, to something, I don't know. And if you can see the preview, the small preview here, the texture was just disappearing, and that was it. So yeah, it is working. So basically, this is the best you can do. You cannot make.
But you showed earlier that you had that how did you describe it? A capsule that would start black at the bottom and white at the top.
Yes.
So could you then have the leaves on the tree disappear at the bottom before they disappeared at the top, rather than all go at the same time, kind of thing, or disappear outwards and stay inwards? So they fall off the edges. On the ends of the branches lose the leaves before the middle loses the leaves.
Yeah, you can do some tricks like that. So basically, what it does, it just works with the alpha cutout. But there is another option you can use, and that's using leaves variation. So what this does is to use the variation when you cut the leaves. Basically, instead of let me move it. So what's wrong with my move?
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, instead of just cutting out, it will cut out using the variation.
There you go. That's what you want to do.
Yeah, but this is not smooth. So if you want to do it dynamically, you can still do it actually, but you will need to use, instead of the default alpha, black and white alpha, you can just use a blurred alpha or an signed distance field alpha. There are some tools on the store, free ones, that can be used to generate a signed distance field alpha. So with it, you can cut out the leaves from the exterior part to the interior part.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's trickier to work
but
with.
Somehow I feel like we're overcomplicating things at the moment, because go back to what you were just showing us now with the variation, right? Where you move this slider down.
Yeah, which one? The leaves?
The leaves variation. You just used a second ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, that in itself, no one's going to sit there looking at the trees as the leaves are falling. Thank you so much for the follow. So no one's going to be still staring at a tree going, "Oh, I wonder if the leaves are going to fall." But if they are, you would move the slider down to like 0.8 or something. Yeah. So like about 0.5. So if you get to about that point, you would have the particle effect of leaves falling down.
Yes.
To disguise, what's going on. You don't need to overcomplicate stuff.
Yeah.
But that's awesome.
Okay, so basically that's it for the seasons. Almost all the elements can be controlled by the seasons, and I'm planning to add another slider. I don't know. I think I will just call it time of day or custom or something like that. So you can use the elements. I don't know. Maybe you want seasons, but maybe in the night. Some people told me that they want to add, I don't know, some glowing flowers in the night.
Oh, yes.
Basically, you can just use the color element for that, and in the daytime it is just a basic flower, and in the night it is glowing.
Yeah, but you've got seasons. Those are winter, spring, summer. It's not day and night time.
Yeah, actually, you can use it. You can use the seasons as a day-night time, but maybe you want more control. I don't know. For me, it's quite easy to add, and it doesn't affect performance at all. So I think I will just add it.
Nice.
Yeah. Actually, I think I will add time of day and the
time of day is lovely.
Yeah, and the custom slider. I don't know.
Because you don't want to sacrifice. You don't want to lose the seasons because you're doing time of day.
Yes, exactly.
You want to have both.
Yeah. Maybe you want to, I don't know, set up the seasons and play with the seasons over, I don't know, when you play for an hour, maybe you go through all the seasons, but maybe you want to do some stuff in the night, or I don't know.
There's a lot of things that you should be doing at nighttime that you shouldn't do in the daytime.
Yeah.
Mate, this is lovely. Really is. It's we got in chat. They were talking about people. There's Michael Warwich back in chat again with his W's and R's in his names, making it difficult for me to pronounce. Now, I'm going to give away a copy of this. Hands up in chat who doesn't have it, because this is amazing. Were you in the Humble Bundle? You weren't in the Humble Bundle, were you?
Yeah, I was in. Actually, not in the Humble Bundle, but I was part of the. I don't know how it was called. It was 2 months ago, I think, and it was a bundle made by Unity on the Unity Asset Store. Yeah, and I was.
What do they call it? Yeah, the one where you pay, and then you get.
Yeah, there were 3 tiers, and I don't know. I can't remember the name.
Was that successful? Did it go well?
Yes, it did pretty well.
Did you manage to buy a new house out of it?
No. No, probably some other publishers can do it, but it's not the case for me, at least for now.
Exclamation mark raffle in chat. Do it the proper way, not the way that Yolan does it, because I'm assuming Yolan already has it. The pretend Humble Bundle. Yes, Unity made their own pretend Humble Bundle, which was very sweet of them to try and work out how to do it. Sacred Stupids putting an upside down exclamation mark. How can you exclude evergreen trees? So if you wanted to exclude a tree, that was how you were saying, like the evergreen would be on a different shader, and you would have the.
No, that's actually pretty easy to do. You just need to select the material and just set the global colors to 0. So the global colors won't affect it at all. Actually, let's do it for
We don't make mistakes. We have happy
These trees
accidents.
here. I just set the global colors to 0. And if I play with the season slider again, they are not affected at all.
Okay. Well, what about he says the alpha cutoff? Can you do that with the alpha cutoff as well on the? So so that where you were having the leaves fall off.
Yes.
So you don't want the
in
leaves to fall off the evergreens
yeah,
because
yeah,
they're
you can
evergreen.
you can actually do it in the same way. So I'm selecting them again and go to the globals, and here you have the global leaves, and I just set it again to 0. So now if I move the slider, everything is affected except those trees.
There you go. I love it. I love it that Sengoku's coming in with all the questions.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
Fresh Meat's gifting out subs.
Yeah, I'm glad actually, because I don't really know what to show here. So
exactly, that's the thing. Like, every question
me.
that comes, like, can it do this? You seem to be answering yes.
So if you have more questions,
Sengoku, keep spamming the questions. Irish John is coming. Irish, quickly do exclamation mark raffle in chat while you're here. Irish, do exclamation mark raffle in chat. Anders Marquez is asking, how long have you been making this asset? Now, you said before that you had your original asset first. So how long did you work on that asset before you started working on this one, and how long has Veg Engine been going?
So I would say that probably this is version 3.5, because I think I worked for about 2 years on the previous one. I worked for about 1 year probably on the first version. After that, I changed it because I wasn't really happy with it. So I changed a lot of stuff, and I worked a lot.
We don't make mistakes.
On that one,
we have happy accidents.
Didn't go really well. So then I started with this one, and this one is basically a continuation of that one, but actually everything is changed in this version from that one. You will probably find some leftover comments from
somewhere
in some script, but basically everything is changed. So on this one, from start to finish, I started in October, I think, last year, and now it's November, so 1 year basically.
Wow, this is insane. But basically, the knowledge of the previous assets got you to the point where you could churn out the Vegetation Engine in a year.
Yes.
So that's the amazing. I mean, the important thing about when you're doing, you start off small, keep on incrementing, keep on making new versions, innovating as you go, and each time you basically refining and refining and refining until you get to the point where it's what you want. It's the old adage of you make the first one, you give it away as a present, you sell the second one, and you keep the third one for yourself because it's perfect. It's that kind of saying.
And actually a lot of features and improvements are based on feedback from the people on Discord. I think the channel is quite big right now, around 1,000 people.
Awesome.
So a lot of stuff are added and improved based on their feedback.
That's very big.
So
well, I hope you spam in your Discord that you're live on the stream.
Actually, I don't know how big it is because I don't know how. Yeah, for me it's big because I started 1 year ago with Discord. I didn't know what Discord is, and I just realized that a lot of developers transition to Discord for support and from the forum. So yeah, I just made the channel, and it just grew over the year. So yeah, I guess it's pretty big.
It is big. Yeah, that sounds
for
big,
me,
man.
it is.
Yeah, it sounds very big. Yeah, nice flex. So a lot we've been asked the question repeatedly about what's next for Boxophobic. So you mentioned previously at the start of the stream, pretty much that you were gonna add support for Amplify Imposters, which
Yes.
would even handle wind, rain, and interaction, which I still don't understand how you can do it, but that's amazing. I won't push you on the timeline for when that is. You also mentioned about adding the day, the time of day, in
Yeah,
addition to
that's all.
the seasons. What else have you got?
Yeah, I plan to add another add-on for stylized shaders. So basically, it will work exactly like it works right now, but you will have shaders for stylized shading, so toon shading.
Oh, brilliant!
So
Because that's what you mentioned earlier was that's a limit at the moment that it doesn't really support.
exactly, yeah. So these shaders are made for PBR shading, and they are using PBR shading and the classic masks, the metallic smoothness. What else? Ambient occlusion, and I think that's it. But basically, it uses PBR shading. So what I want to do is to add shaders for toon shading, and you will basically you can have an entire project set with the Vegetation Engine, and you will be able to choose which shading to use. So you can transform basically any vegetation asset into a toon shaded asset.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's next. Amplify Imposters and toon shading. It will take some time, probably with the toon shading. I think I will just go with Amplify Imposters first,
Yes,
because
please, because that just sounds like it's magical witchcraft.
it is a bit easier to implement.
Really, that's going to be easier to implement. That's insane. And
Yeah.
everyone in chat, as soon as you mentioned that you'd actually be able to support it, and it would have wind on Amplify Imposters and rain and wetness and snow and interaction, it was like, no, we don't believe you. You're lying, obviously, because it can't be done. And now you're saying it's even easier to do that than it is to do the toon shader. It's insane.
Yeah, I think 30% of the Amplify Imposters it's already done.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Look, you mentioned earlier that a lot of people have come in into chat who weren't here earlier on, who might still be confused because I've got a chat, somebody asking about your add-ons. Do you want to just explain to people again your add-ons that you're offering on the asset store, what they do, the differences between them?
Sure. Let me just import one of them, and or should I just? I think it's easier to explain it if I just use it. So I will import. This is my latest add-on, and it is called Terrain Elements. So
you've got terrain elements and you've got terrain details.
yes. So actually, I explained the terrain details already. So the terrain details just replace your standard details shader for the terrain with the Vegetation Engine compatible shaders. So basically, once those shaders are replaced, you will be able to use all the colors and all the elements I showed in this video. Okay, so the terrain elements. The terrain elements are exactly like the default elements, but they are working with the terrain system, and you can basically set different colors or different scale for each terrain layer. I will just show you in a moment because it's much easier for me.
A picture says 1,000 words.
Yeah.
While you're loading that up, chat is saying about atmospheric height and fog. Atmospheric height fog. I didn't even know you had that. And I've just looked at it
Yeah.
on the asset store. It looks amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
They're asking, does it
that's-
support integration with water assets like RAM?
It doesn't with RAM. I could look at it. It does have some integration with. I just added two days ago integration with Lux.
Oh,
water.
okay.
Yeah.
What about
and-
Aquas?
Yeah, actually with Aquas. I don't think so. I don't know. I need to check the documentation. But I know I added two stylized waters. One from Staggart,
Yeah.
I think, and the other one from Alexander. I don't know his name. I know it's Alexander
Something.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to come in and say Crest. Crest. All right. So while we're doing that,
yeah, with Crest, yeah, I have.
I need to announce the winner of the raffle. We got to see who won, because everyone's been sitting there patient. I'm going to do a drum roll. The winner of Vegetation Engine
Yeah, I will just take a
is
short break.
the winner is One Savage Puppy. We're back on the stream. Please don't adjust your sets.
All right, so
Where were we, Chris?
yeah, I was talking about the terrain elements.
Yes,
So
you were.
basically, before you had the default elements, right? So
Yes.
you can set colors and all the things you saw until now.
All the amazing things.
Yeah, but right now with this add-on, you have a new set of elements, which are the terrain elements. So basically, I can just choose as before, let's say a color element. Let me delete the old ones from the scene. So I have an element for the colors, and with it, I can just plug in the splat maps from the terrain and add for each terrain layer, a different color. So basically, you can just manipulate the vegetation based on the layer they sit on. So let me do it really fast. I just need to find the terrain, find the splat map of the terrain, and add it to the element. And I need to scale the element to match the terrain size. So I think this is 61 and 60. To move it to the same position. And right now, if it works, I can just set the colors based on the layers. So if I check the terrain, I have two layers right now. So I have the sand one and the grass one. So I want on the grass one, I want to color the grass layer, actually the vegetation that is painted on the grass layer with red. So I just need to go to the second layer and make it red. So basically right now, if I paint on the terrain with the sand, everything is going to be white, the white color. And if I paint with the grass one, it's becoming red. So this is useful. I really like the size element, because I can just paint, how do you call it? You can paint a path, and you can just scale the vegetation to 0 on that path. So
Yeah.
you have a nice transition. So I just choose a size element, and for the second, actually the first layer is the sand one. So on the first layer, I will just scale down the vegetation.
Wow, that's crazy.
Okay. And right now, if I'm painting with grass, I will just the vegetation will just grow back. So basically, that's it. It works exactly like the simple elements, but they are working with the terrain and with the splat maps. And this is working with any tool that is capable of exporting splat maps. I just tested it a few days ago with Microsplat. Microsplat can export splat maps, so you can basically use it with Microsplat, and that's the only one I tested so far. So basically, only the terrain and Microsplat.
Dude, that's lovely.
These are the two I tested. But you can just paint, if you want, by hand a splat map and use it with these terrain elements. It supports up to 16 layers. So.
And you can also do the season stuff as well.
Oh, yeah, of course. It's the same.
Nice, mate.
So
Nice.
we just set.
That is lovely.
It works.
Really lovely.
It actually works a bit differently than the other one. Same as before. You set. Let me set it to a default color, and I will just set it in the autumn to be brownish. And with these elements, you need to set the influence, the influence, because if you would be able to set winter, spring, and summer, and all the seasons for all the elements, you will end up with 4 or multiplied with 16.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just did it in a simpler way. You just have an influence, a global influence. So when you set the season to autumn, everything will just go with this color.
That is nice. Michael's asking, is it painted with vertex color or some kind of global texture?
No, actually, I'm just using the terrain. So you just paint the layers on the.
It's just
on the
normal.
terrain.
It's just the normal terrain layers.
Yeah,
that's it.
it's just the normal terrain layers. So
It's
nothing.
so simple.
Yeah. So basically, I can just paint the layers and that's it.
So this is useful for height-based variations. No grass on hills or change color to white on mountains.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it.
Yeah, especially as you'd be exported out the splat map. Like if you're using something like World Machine.
Yeah. Actually, I think all these tools for exporting terrain, I don't know, height maps are capable of exporting splat maps as well. Yeah. So basically, that's it.
Have you got any more add-ons that you're going to be making?
I don't know, probably. If you have something in mind. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. It's a shame this one isn't in the sale.
Yeah, this is quite new. I think I
Yeah.
released it probably 2 weeks ago, or maybe a
Oh,
month.
really? That new?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow. And how long ago did you do the fog?
The fog, I don't know.
Because the
I
fog
can't
is in the
remember.
sale. The fog's in the sale at $12.50, half down from $25.
Yeah.
What about textures and Gokask that blend together at the border? How does the grass look then?
Actually, the colors are based on the resolution of the splat map. The colors are just blended together, so there is no harsh transition from one layer to another. So it really depends on the layer. Let me try to do something with low opacity. Yeah, I think.
That's always good to do crop circles. Aliens are coming. The aliens are here. Oh, it's brilliant. And because it's using the Unity, you can do this in runtime as well.
Yeah.
So this is awesome.
Basically it. Yeah. So if I choose two colors for this, and let's set this influence. I don't know if you can see the transition or not, but they are basically transitioning from one color to another.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically that's it with the terrain elements.
Man, that's amazing. Putting a link in chat for the fog. Yeah, crop circles. Everyone knows. Does everyone have crop circles? There you go. And if I get the other one, this amazing. This is awesome. Really loving this pack.
Yeah, which one? The fog?
The fog, yeah, but also this one that you're showing now, the terrain element.
Yeah, I think it's quite useful for.
Because what's that? That's $15
building
only.
Yep.
Mate, this is amazing. I love it. The comments in chat is, how did we not know how amazing these assets were? And people are like, this is worth staying up late for. That's brilliant. Oh man.
Yeah, I actually do it myself. I stay up a lot of nights to work on it because I really enjoy it. I really enjoy working on it.
These are great. These assets that you've made, because they're complex. They're complex, yet at the same time you've made the interface of them simple. You just need to get over the fear of all the sliders and what you can do with it. And as you've shown it, like when you're playing with it, it just feels so simple that you're using it. Like, you look how easy it is. You just need to get over that initial fear of it's something new. There's a load of sliders. Need to start playing about.
Yeah. I think I will do some more videos in the future, and I will always also try to do some videos with voiceover, and let's see how it goes.
Yeah, man. Best of luck. Thank you so much. I mean, it's late. It's nearly 1 o'clock for me. So what's that? 2 o'clock for you?
Yeah, it's 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. You're 2 hours ahead, mate. Yeah. I'll let you get to bed. This is amazing. I'm going to need you to come back another time. So we haven't even touched about your fog. We didn't even look at your fog yet. The fog is for sale as well. In chat, you put the link in a second ago. $12.50 down from $25. Exclamation mark Veg Engine. Thank you very much for sticking that in there. I've got Veg Engine Twitter who says, but I didn't know about terrain elements. Very cool. So I hope you're going to be picking up the terrain elements as well. The terrain elements with the affiliate, obviously with the affiliate link above their Twitcheroo, so that my children can eat. You know, children need to eat. This with the fog. So that's with rain. I'm looking at this video you've got there. So you got the fog, and does the rain affect the fog?
No.
You're just trying to.
No,
trick
it
me.
doesn't. I just animated everything to. Yeah, actually, I'm using the animator for everything.
What's the performance like with your fog?
It should be pretty good. So the shader for the fog is super basic, but with the fog is using the depth buffer. So the rendering of the depth buffer can be a bit expensive on mobile devices, but on PC it will just work. So it shouldn't affect the performance.
What about if there's a reflective or transparent surfaces like glass and stuff?
Yeah, transparency is another topic because everything that's transparent doesn't write to the depth buffer. So in most cases, probably with a lot of assets, you need to add some code to the transparent shader to make it work.
Oh my gosh, I'm being asked, did we talk about Polyverse Skies yet?
No, that's on sale as well.
That's on sale as well. $7.50 down from $15. Was that a low poly sky shader?
Yeah, low poly skybox shaders.
With low poly clouds?
Yeah.
Awesome. How did I not know about this as well? When did this come out?
I don't know, 2 years ago maybe.
Yeah, 2018. I did not know about this. Oh, you're going to need to come back another time.
Yeah,
you're going to need to come back, mate, Christian. Yolin says he uses your Polyverse Skies for his Castle Defender game.
Ah, nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, I just added with the latest update. I added support to render your custom clouds because that was a problem. A lot of people wanted to render their clouds, but I'm using a texture that actually it's encoded in. It's basically like a normal map but it's a word space normal map. So now you can do it.
Brilliant, mate. You got too much. You got too much good stuff. In chat is saying that you need to support Aquas, RAM, because everyone uses those assets apparently. Twitch, I'm confused about the 16 layers in terrain elements. Is that for terrain painting HDRP?
Actually, HDRP only supports 8 layers. 8 layers. So it is made for all the render pipelines, and I just choose 16 because I think it's more. Yeah, it's more than enough. Yeah, in HDRP you cannot use more than 8. You can paint more than 8. You can see it in the scene view, but you won't be able to see it in the game view.
There you go.
Yeah, but I don't know if anybody goes higher than 16. If that's the case, I think I can just add more layers, or maybe I can add some additional layers that can be added on top, and you can composite them as you want. I don't know. I was thinking a bit about that, but I just wanted to keep it simple, 16 layers, and that's it.
Well, he thought that you made some kind of magic to exceed HDRP past 8, because you've already said you can do magic because you're doing the Amplify Imposters, and you've made Veg Engine do what it can, and you've got your terrain elements add-on. So everyone believes that you already have magic powers. So, oh my word. Okay, everyone keeps on spamming more questions. It's 3 o'clock in the morning for the poor man. I told you. Remember, I told you before about how sometimes an interview could go on for like 8 hours because everyone just gets excited and asking more and more questions. We've been chatting now since 9 o'clock UK time. It's now 1 o'clock. So what's that? Let's do the math. 10, 11, 12, 1. So we've been chatting now for 4 hours, and we're still getting more and more questions coming, which means you have to come back another time.
I'll be glad to do it.
Mate, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me. I hope I I wasn't too annoying or anything. I don't know.
Mate,
this is the first time I do a live interview.
Your English was perfect, I have to say. Your explanation was very clear.
That's my biggest problem.
No, don't be. Look, mate, you explained perfectly, right? And your English was great. We've learned so much, and you've made so many people giddy with excitement. We've given away a prize, and we've learned that Vegetation Engine isn't the same as Vegetation Studio, and you can actually have both in your project, and it's good to do so. And I learned that there's a thing called Nature Renderer that I happen to own because it was in a Humble Bundle, and I didn't even know about. So even I've learned something amazing today.
Yeah, that's pretty nice actually. I really like it because it's really simple to use.
Well, I'm gonna have a play of it. I still gotta learn. I'm still been trying to learn Veg Studio because Lennart's Veg Studio is amazing. ! Veg Studio in chat. Give me one more ! Veg Engine in chat for everyone as we say good night to the amazing Boxophobic. Mate, I can't wait to have you back, and thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
If you want to see more of my crazy videos, click on the left side of your screen now, and down below there's that big juicy subscribe button, and right next to it is the magic bell that if you click it, it will tell you if I've got a new video coming out. Till next time.